southwestern state of Oyo, according to its governor. Rescue workers dug through the rubble in search of those feared trapped. Residents of Ibadan city heard the loud blast at 7:45 in the evening, causing panic as security forces cordoned off the area by morning. Oyo's governor said preliminary investigations showed the blast was caused by explosives stored for use in illegal mining operations. I'm Karen Chamas.
In the meantime, a huge explosion in a fireworks factory in Thailand has claimed the lives of at least 23 employees. Rescue teams say so far no survivors have been found. Cause of that explosion being investigated, and it comes less than a month before Chinese New Year in February, when demand for fireworks is very strong. Officials also say this explosion is at the very same factory in 2022 when a blast killed at least 2 people. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Retirement Outlook.
If your retirement account is mostly stocks or bonds, listen closely. The future of your savings may be more uncertain than ever before. Hi, I'm Paul Stone, CEO of Colonial Metals. The sad truth is, our government continues to eat away at our freedoms and security. In economic times like these, run around the flagpole by lunatics in Washington, I look to the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver that you own. At Colonial Metals, we specialize in helping folks with IRAs and 401ks and other retirement accounts move their savings into physical gold and silver. If you'd like a free gold investment kit, give us a call today at 820-800-8000. My team is standing by ready to rush a free gold investment kit to you. You may also qualify for $7,500 in free silver and a free safe. Call 820-800-8000 now. That's 820-800-8000.
Colonial Metals is not a financial advisor. Consult with your advisor before investing.
That's 820-800-8000.
Authorities in Ukraine ordering people from several villages to evacuate because of worsening attacks by Russia.
The evacuation order in 26 villages on Ukraine's northeastern front near Kupiansk was made by the governor of Kharkiv region, Oleh Syniehubov. He said around 3,000 people, including up to 300 children, are affected. Russia has recently been on the offensive, trying to recapture areas that Ukraine liberated more than a year ago. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is currently at the World Economic Forum in Davos, trying to rally support for continuing military aid.
Pakistan recalling its ambassador to Tehran today, 24 hours after Iran launched airstrikes on Pakistan that it claimed targeted bases for a militant Sunni separatist group. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. China's population has declined for a second consecutive year, underscoring concerns about the future growth of the massive economy.
The accelerating fall in the population is partly because of more deaths, many of them caused by COVID. But there are also fewer babies born in 2023 than the year before. The reduction is expected to be less this year, as many couples look to have children in the Chinese zodiac's Year of the Dragon, which begins next month. But China's population is on a long-term decline, a trend officials are trying to slow. They once forced women to have 1 child. Now they want them to have 3.
BBC correspondent Michael Bristow on Wall Street yesterday, of course, off for the holiday. A lot of profit taking, that, of course, on Monday, but yesterday stocks continued to fall, and futures trading today, they're still down. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, mostly.
Almost.
Almost.
Like 70% there.
Almost. We're getting there. Feeling a little better. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's right. Yep. That's where we're at today. So, I think once I get going, it's starting and stopping.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, but yeah, this is one day closer to starting to sound normal. So,
right.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
So it'll be nice to have you back.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm kind of tired of this. I'm so tired.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
It's been whipping around all over the city. It had its bout with the kids. Now, kids' mom is feeling it. And she's feeling it pretty rough too. She's almost lost her voice too.
Oh man, yeah. I don't wish this on anybody. So,
not a fun experience.
No, not at all.
But hey, got them antibodies.
That's right.
I feel invincible now, dude. I walk around. I'm like, go ahead, breathe right here. Nothing.
Right. But give me a COVID virus.
Yeah,
I'll just lick it.
I pushed through whatever that was. I can take on the world.
That's right. I don't feel that yet.
It's still now. I'm not going to be like running no marathons. It's still pretty hard to breathe. I still find myself like losing my breath every now and again.
Yeah, I get tired easy, and that's
like just at random. I'll just be like, like what happened?
Yeah, it's a rough one, man. But one step closer, and don't get this thing. It stinks. So
it's one step closer to the edge, and he's about to break.
Heard that song in about 20 years.
It's so weird to me that the generation that loved stuff like Linkin Park and stuff, they're now up there. It's always off-putting to me when I'm coming off the backside of doggone it, Mark Levin. Couldn't think of the freaking name. How when he goes into his breaks, it's Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park.
Yeah, it's a Linkin Park song. Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, what? This is not the song that evokes feelings after I've been listening to Mark Levin hold a pregnant pause for 13 seconds.
Well, I'm pretty sure Mark Levin doesn't even know who Linkin Park is.
Right.
But
well, maybe. I don't
he
know.
might. I could be wrong. I have no idea what his musical taste is.
Same thing with with the boys from Lit. You know how they're the new music for Travis and Sexton.
Right.
You know, that's.
But they grew up in an age where they listened to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mark Levin was of the age to be a Linkin Park fan.
It's very odd to imagine Mark Levin like front and center at a Linkin Park concert.
Yeah, when Linkin Park was, a household name, Mark Levin was not at the concert in the
just
front row.
Front and center with a JCLP shirt on,
yeah,
headband, holding his rock hands up.
He's probably a school board member at that time, I think.
Speaking of, by the way, did you see what was happening on social yesterday, or the big story?
I guess not.
Apparently, Bam Margera was here yesterday.
Here, like in Roswell?
Here in Roswell.
No, really?
Yeah, he was over at Geneva's house skating, apparently.
Really?
It's on Facebook. Yeah, they got pictures of him with Geneva in the background. He usually got the half. I think they went to the skate park. I'm not 100 on this, but yeah, he was.
Was he by himself, or was there other members of the crew?
I don't think he associates with that crew anymore.
In my head, I just feel like they all live together in one room,
Yeah, no, he's been off doing his own thing, trying to recover and everything. But let me see if I can find this.
Yeah, I was about to say, last I heard, he had a foot in the grave.
He's been doing a lot better lately. Like, he's been really on like a road to recovery. Yeah, here, this is. I guess this maybe is at the skate park.
Really?
Yeah, we're at Bam Margera with Geneva in the background. I'm like, huh. Let's see.
That is. I have to find out what he was doing here.
Yeah. Says legendary Bam Margera from MTV Jackass and his girlfriend came to my house tonight and skated the ramp. So, it's pretty cool, man.
It's kind of funny. One of those shows back in the day that my wife and I was kind of a guilty pleasure was Viva La Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Her and I used to watch that show all the time. So it was kind of fun. Until it got dark.
If you ever go back and watch like the behind the scenes or whatever, they spent he personally spent so much money on this show.
Well, he destroyed so much stuff.
Destroyed.
I'm sure MTV's like, we don't have that kind of budget.
Yeah, they didn't budget. He was like out of pocket buying like burner cars for people to do like when they did like the tractor pull or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
like when they build those big pirate ships and doing all. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, they probably cost him millions of dollars to do all that.
And from what I understand, like to this day, the family still owns that house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like because Bam doesn't use it very often. Like Bam's friends, squatters will just go and like just live there.
Oh.
It's become this like
so it's probably
place for
destroyed
people.
Whole.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's all tagged up and April, I guess Bam's mom is pretty protective over the property, understandably.
Right.
But doesn't want
she's the one alive, right? Of the
no, I think Phil's still alive.
I thought he passed.
No,
no, Vito passed. Yeah, I knew that. I thought they both were gone.
I'm pretty sure Phil's still gone.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
For some reason, I thought I heard he'd passed as well, because he's not exactly the epitome of health either. So.
Yeah, I hope he's not like still here listening to this show. I'm gonna be openly
I
talking.
haven't seen him in 30 years, so he may be svelte and trim. I have no idea.
Oh, he's definitely on the upswing. I mean, there was a period where he went off to I think like Sao Paulo or something, and he was cleaning his life up. Fell apart again for a little bit, but I think he's back on the upswing of. He's been trying to get back into skating, which obviously he said he completely like lost his form. He had to completely relearn from scratch how to skateboard.
Well, yeah,
and do what he did. But then once you started doing it, you get that muscle memory back, and
sure,
he can already hit those transitions and the spines and all that.
Now you're seeing the difference between a guy like Tony Hawk and a guy like Bam Margera.
Yeah,
because I mean Tony's got him by about 10 years maybe.
Yeah, probably 10, maybe 10.
Yeah, because Tony's in his 50s. Bam's probably early 40s.
I'd say 40s. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Tony, I mean, he lives a much healthier lifestyle than Bam Margera. Let's be honest.
True.
And you look at Tony at 50 plus doing what he's doing.
Now, that being said, Bam Margera can get on a skateboard and skate right now.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk can't.
Yeah, he can.
No, he broke his foot.
Yeah, that didn't stop.
He can't get on a skateboard
He's
right now.
back on it.
Is he back?
Yeah, he broke his foot like a year ago.
Okay, I thought he was still in recovery.
No, months later, he's back on a skateboard.
Okay, well, then I rescind my statement.
Yeah, no, he's still, he literally was like, oh, yeah, grab another leg out the back, stick it on, and go skating again.
He does have that never soft money.
Yeah. Yeah, now, but let's also be true, to be honest here. Tony Hawk's level of skating ability versus Bam Margera's,
right?
I'm sorry,
but
that's Wayne Gretzky versus. Versus
But here's my argument: who had more fun with it? I'm just saying, Bam. He definitely was a roller coaster.
That could be a debate because depends on your perspective,
right?
I'm sure Tony Hawk's pretty happy with the way things turned out with him.
No, now look, don't get me wrong. The Tony Hawk, that like was an entire that was my entire generation, was the Tony Hawk generation. It was that, it was Matt Hoffman, Pro BMX. And with that though, Bam had also started this crazy like cult following with that heartogram symbol that he wore everywhere.
I'm not as far as marketing, all that bigness, but I'm talking about pure skating ability. I'm sorry. Bam is not in Tony Hawk.
It's funny to me to think there's people who are like investment bankers now who probably had, when they were kids, notebooks with the heartogram symbol on it.
Right.
I know I did.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then there was probably a time in life where all these people loved him.
Yeah.
And CKY.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, him was terrible. It was not good music.
There was one or two songs
there was a couple of songs, yeah. I loved CKY. That band was awesome. Flesh Into Gear was a great track.
I wonder where him's at now. Probably doing tours in Germany or something.
Still blowing up over there.
Yeah. So, let me give you the rundown for today's show. John with Oasis Computers will join us here in just a few minutes for his monthly visit. Gives an update on what's happening in the world of tech. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Brian Luck, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, will join us. They had their school board meeting earlier this week, so we'll get the skinny from him on that and just talk about what else is going on in the district. And then we'll replay an interview in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll be with Bam Margera, but yesterday we had Geneva Martinez and Big D with Many Hands organization talking about they've got the Gonzalez Warming Center open this week because of the frigid temperatures. I don't think it'll be open today because of it's like 60 today, but yesterday and later in the week it's going to get chilly again. But just talking about where they're at, what they need help with, really financially and volunteers are the two big tentpole items they need right now. So we're going to play that interview with you, but it is pre-Bam Margera, so I don't ask her anything about Bam because, well, you figured it out. By the way, I saw something I got to say it real quick as we were talking about here. If you love sport or if you want to be a sports journalist, pro tip, know a little bit about sports before you want to be a pro journalist. I watched the dumbest clip on the Twitter a few minutes before the show. So NFL playoffs are, in the midst of, in case you haven't heard. So this weekend, because the Bucks beat the Eagles, they advanced. Detroit, they won as well. So the Buccaneers and the Lions are playing each other in Detroit this weekend for the next playoff game. So a reporter was interviewing Raheem Morris during his press conference. He's the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right. And the reporter asked, Raheem goes, are you guys worried about the weather this weekend? Raheem Morris stops, looks at her and says, you realize Detroit plays in a dome, right? And she's like, and he was like, quiet. I was just more pause, and he goes, and he's just looking, silence. He goes, no, I'm not worried about it. And then moves on with his press conference. Pretty good. Literally, it just train wrecked and stopped the whole thing. He's like, Detroit plays in a dome, right?
Yeah, that's definitely one of those. I feel like you should at least have a tacit knowledge of
some major journalistic corporation paid this person money to ask questions to him.
Now, in fairness, I don't know this stuff, but I'm not a sports journalist.
You don't have to write an article about the game this week.
I'm just paid to know the whereabouts of Bam Margera. That's all that is.
So, pro tip. Yeah. Do a little research. All right, it is 7:18. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little cool today, but we'll be warming up as we get through the rest of the week. High pressure will stay parked over the Four Corners, so things look good today. Lots of sunshine, upper 50s to mid 60s. The wind will be a little bit gusty at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds, mid 30s to low 40s, and then tomorrow we're expecting highs to be back in the 70s, breezy and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, balmy 16 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 45%, and winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today, expect highs near 60 degrees, slightly different than the last couple days of weather for us. Winds will be out of the, looks like south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear. Overnight low of 34 degrees. Will actually be above freezing tonight. Not too bad. Winds will be out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Thursday, sunny, 75. No, 70, I'm sorry. My glasses aren't thick enough. Sunny with a high near 70. Yeah, it's going to be 70 tomorrow. Winds out of the west, 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for Thursday afternoon. Clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 25 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at around 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, 41 for a high. Northeast winds 5 to 10. And then looking at the weekend, back partly cloudy, a high of 40 on Saturday. And then for Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies. Mostly cloudy skies, a high of 51. And then looking at a slight chance of rain on Tuesday of next week. But Looks like we'll be floating around in the upper 60 or lower 60s to start the work week next week. All right, it is 7:21. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then John with Oasis Computers will join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and surrounding areas. Roswell Tire and Appliance has what you're looking for with a great selection of refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers, and ranges, and they can prepare your appliance as well with many models in stock and on sale. You can own it today. RTA services after the sale with repair, warranty, and delivery to Roswell and surrounding areas. Save big on a selection of scratch and dent appliances too, plus a great selection of tires and a team of people to help you when you need it most. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell. What's the buzz all about? The Honey Depot, Artesia's little store with a whole lot more. You'll find an unbelievable selection of one-of-a-kind gifts and decor. Everything from candles to soaps, books and Bible study journals, home decor, local honey, seasonings, candies, and more. Not to mention a staff that's sweeter than honey. So buzz on in. If you can't find it here, you probably don't need it. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30, Saturdays 10 to 6, closed Sunday and Monday at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Shop local. Shop Honey Depot, the little store with a whole lot more.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Morning, John.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
How was the holidays for you?
Oh, calm, easy, nice.
Good. Those are three words I love to hear about the holidays.
The business was calm, too. That was not so nice. But then, as usual, January kicks in, don't know where to turn.
Yeah, it's kind of
straightening out a little bit again. So
rains with pours, right?
Yeah, it's always the same.
Well,
but that's okay. We're not complaining.
Good deal. Well, I imagine, some people got maybe some new technology over the holidays, and they're either coming with you to get rid of old, or they don't know how to work it, and they come to you to see how to work that new technology.
It's how do we put it? Microsoft. I guess maybe that explains it.
Keeps you in business, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like they were doing a lot of update. I don't know. It seems like I got several updates over the holidays.
Yeah, I don't know
what's
if we
going on?
talked about it last time. I think we did somewhat, but it's becoming pretty obvious. And how do we put it? Since Windows 10 came out, 10 years ago or whatever, every year, every day is like, what the heck? What now? What did they do? Why does this not work? What's going on? Stupid Microsoft. Basically something like that. And then in terms of words, maybe worse than that. But yeah, you know what I mean. And everybody has the same problem. Don't understand, don't know what's going on. And basically early last year, it started kind of showing what's going on. Nobody's on board with it, so you get a kind of a weird situation. Microsoft, I believe, is fixing a lot of things. Now, the way they fix it, we're not sure if we agree on that, but, that's how they do it. So all these changes slowly are doing what we ask for. Can you make it better, more secure, and easier to use and whatever? At the same time, they add features and things, and this is what you need, that's what you need. Well, we don't necessarily ask for. It makes it confusing. And I think communication is very bad. The example that I have on communication is that what happens inside the Windows itself. When you need to do something, are made to do something, change your password, whatever it is, or something installs, I don't think it's clear what they meant. For a long time I've been saying, so you take your lucky quarter out, you flip it up and say, heads. That means yes, I'll do it.
Right.
Well, you can't go along like that because you don't really know what you're doing.
Sure,
you know. I got to go to Dallas, and I need to make a turn here. Do I need to turn left or right? Well, you end up in L.A. or something like that because you turned west instead of east.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that don't work real well. But what choice do you have? You need to get your job done, too. So a good example of that is when you get a virus, or you think you have a virus, it's just in the browser. You know, I don't know if we're getting through with that, but you are in the browser. And then, of course, many people ask me, what's a browser?
Right.
Well, it's the thing you're on the internet with,
right.
Google Chrome, Edge,
it's your portal
whatever.
into
right.
the world.
So anyway, that thing, if it says that Microsoft found a problem and you need to call them to fix it, you don't. Microsoft does not help in that regards whatsoever. Try to call them yourself. You can't hardly find them.
Right.
Anyway, so the simple fix for it, we tell to everybody, hit the Control, Alternate, Delete keys, all three at the same time down, and then something pops up, and then you go to where you, what's called the
task manager.
Task manager.
Yeah.
I was thinking device manager. That's not it. Task manager, and then you shut down. Let's say you have Chrome open or something like that. You shut down Chrome there. Problem goes away. You start Chrome back up, and that's where the problem comes in. It says in the top right-hand corner, would you like to restore the pages? And for the longest time, almost everybody says yes. And then, of course, the word is, well, and then does it right again?
Right.
Well, yeah, you restored the pages. So one day I asked some lady, and it's like, well, I've been asking for a while, what would you click on? And then I go, no, that's not right. You need to click on this. Try to explain it. But that didn't explain to me why they were doing that.
Right.
So I asked this lady, why are you clicking on restore pages? And the answer literally was, I want to go back to where it works good. And it's like,
they think restore
I can see what you're thinking,
right.
but that's not what it means. It means to go back when you shut it down to where you were so
right.
you didn't lose anything. Well, if your problem shows right back up too, though. So since I figured that one out, I started realizing that if Microsoft would put a little bit more in it, restore the pages to where you were when it went wrong or something like that, it would be clear. But this is apparently not clear, and this is just an example. Those kind of things are all the way through Windows where it's not clear to people what it is.
Sure.
Plus, many of my customers don't even know how to really run it. They do what they do, they bungle through it,
sure,
and they get whatever they need to do done.
Well, and I would even think, like, with that restore the pages mindset, depending on their age and what level of computers they did, earlier versions of Microsoft and things, Windows, when you had a computer kind of stop doing what you want to do, going back to a restore point from earlier is kind of like a method to fix some of those things. And I'm wondering in their head if they think restoring, in essence, refreshing the browser.
The answer from the lady
is the same thing.
Was kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Why do you click on restore the pages?
Yeah.
I want to restore, and that's what you mentioned by restoring your program. Restore to where it worked, not restore to where I was.
Right.
It's not made clear.
And
But
that's
anyway,
why I think people generationally, because when they entered into the game, that's where
I don't
they
think
kind
it's a
of...
generation. I think it's just how, maybe more how the mind thinks.
Okay.
I'm seeing more and more how the mind thinks. There's different people, they would choose different things because of the way the mind processes or whatever.
Sure.
That thing above our eyes is not functioning the way most people think. The working with the computers and the customers has shown me that. But anyway, to come back to Microsoft, what are they doing? Well, most people come in the store over the last years say, and I don't want that thing online, and they're meddling with my life, and I leave it offline and whatever. So what happens is that Microsoft is changing it to where it looks like they take control over you, your machine, and your life. But nobody asks really why, because they want to make money. Yeah, I guess they can use more for advertising, whatever. But don't forget, they're helping you also. And that's becoming pretty obvious, even though it's not working real well yet.
Right.
You have that Microsoft account, and these days you cannot hardly bypass the Microsoft account unless you know how to do that. But it's not widely known at all. Anyway, for most people, it doesn't matter. So you buy a new machine. It's not been set up by me. Then you open it up, and then you start Windows up, and it asks some questions, what country and what keyboard and whatever. And then it says, now let's set up or add your Microsoft account. Okay, first mistake there is that it asks for an email or something like that.
Right.
People put an email in it. That's not very helpful because now you have me at google.com, the main entry as for Microsoft. Why are you at google.com when it's for Microsoft?
Right.
The second thing that's not clear is that me at google.com, that email, in most people's mind is an email address. In this particular case, it has nothing to do with an email address, just a name.
Right.
The name to log into Windows, the Windows account. So anyway, you get through that, you set it up, and if it happens to get done correctly, so if you had one from Microsoft, great, use it. But the option is not clear and loud, make a new account. If you don't have one, make a new account with Microsoft. To me, that's the option to choose.
Gotcha.
But that's in smaller letters underneath it. So
if you're not paying attention,
if you make a new account with Microsoft, it's also an email account. If you use me at google.com, you have no email account. But later on, we have run with customers and you can't make it work. Your email don't work. Well, there is not one because they use me at google.com.
Gotcha.
Me at google.com cannot work for Microsoft because it's already in use.
Gotcha.
At Google.
Right.
So you can use that. So it's just a name again. Come back to a name. Now, what is the funny thing is, people bring a machine in, it breaks, and you say, well, your machine's bad. Do I have my files? Yeah, your drive's good, no problem. We can copy those over. Okay, so the other machine comes in. It's like, machine seems to work fine, but your hard drive's bad. If it's an old-style drive still, let's assume, they bring it in, this doesn't work. Let's plug it in. You plug it in, you power it on, and it goes click, 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 click. Yeah, that's the hard drive not functioning.
Right.
I'm sorry, your hard drive's bad, and nothing I can do about it. Can I get my files? No, probably not. Or it's going to be very expensive, and it may not even be possible. And then it's literally like, oh, my God, my life's falling apart. So then you ask, do you have a Microsoft account? Some do know, some don't know and have it. But anyway, let's assume the one that does know. Yeah, Microsoft account, me at Microsoft.com. Okay, so I go to my computer, the one that's sitting there up front for customer use, whatever. Go to my computer, I type that in, go to the online OneDrive, and you log in with their account, and then you say, is this the stuff you're looking for? And then suddenly I'm a saint. I just saved their life.
Right.
I didn't. Microsoft did. Now, the real funny part is the people that really have fought it, I don't want that, and they happen to have it, they're really happy that that's been done now.
Sure.
So that's where they're going to. The other thing is that in this process of fixing it, it feels like we're, the way they've done it is like we're going on a trip with an airplane. We leave in a Boeing airplane, and when we land, it's a McDonnell Douglas or a different brand. And it's all been changed in mid-flight while you were in the airplane. Well, can you imagine that you sometimes have things that is a little weird?
Well, yeah.
That's basically what they do with Windows. As we're using it, they're changing it. Good example was the Windows 11 comes out, and it's almost the same as Windows 10. It's like there's no difference. Why did they do this? The taskbar is working the same. You can move it around from corner to corner, up and top and down, and then suddenly the taskbar doesn't hardly do anything no more. Well, they rewrote the taskbar. We're complaining that why it's old software, can they fix it, make it better, make it more optimized? They did. But the way they give it to us is they make a basic function of it, the main functions you need, and it doesn't do anything else. Then they replace the old one with this one, and you're just, again, going like, what the heck, Microsoft? It doesn't do this no more.
Right.
Well, a year and a half, 2 years later, with the latest update, the taskbar does almost do everything again what it used to. They added it back into it. Well, my idea is make the thing finished and then replace it.
Right.
But that's not how they operate. And that's where so many of the issues come in. So, yeah, I believe it is getting better.
Right.
But some things are just silly. But Yeah, overall, I think we're moving forward, but it's just not clear what's going on.
Well, it seems like, I don't know, just as long as I've kind of paid attention to these kind of things a little bit, it's almost like a philosophy, and this is like Apple Android all over again here, where you have where Apple they're more stringent on the testing and the protocol side of things, but when they release a product, there's usually less quirks, bugs, just operational issues.
Right.
Whereas Microsoft has always been that one. It's like, we'll get it out quicker.
Right.
But there's going to be about 37 bugs, and we're going to use humanity to find the bugs and fix them, rather than go in our own rooms and test and try.
Well, I think you're talking about Apple versus Microsoft, and I think they have somewhat completely different philosophies, stemming back, I think, to Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, the way they were thinking about stuff. Gates is like, it works good enough. They'll figure it out. Whereas Jobs goes like, this corner here needs not rounded correctly. Can you fix that? And everybody in the company goes like, oh, for God's sake, there he goes again.
They're like the extremes of each other. Yeah.
They're very meticulous, precise. Don't put it out if it doesn't work, even though I've done some things like that didn't work right. It slipped through. But overall, their product is polished, done, and I think checked over not once or twice, but 10 times that it does as good as it can. They do have, of course, an advantage. Their hardware is from them, and their software is from them. What makes a big difference, of course.
Yeah, they're
you got to recognize that. But on the Microsoft part, it's just like with that taskbar I was just talking about. Okay, we got a functioning one, put it out, and they will figure it out. Well, not everybody figures it out. And, if there would be a notice that we have the new taskbar, it's not fully functional yet, but we decided to put it in. We're working on it. If there would be some message for it.
Sure.
But, of course, does bring me to this aggravating thing when you get updates, whatever. Then it's Google does it, and Microsoft does it. Oh, we got new stuff. Let me show you what we got. And who looks at that? Who actually reads up on that when that happens?
Never.
Yeah, see, that's my experience. I never did either.
Unless you're really, really into that. But
it's
most people aren't.
Also, somewhere last year, I don't know how it came up exactly, why it hit me, but I looked at that and I go, they're trying to tell me what the new things are and what has changed. And I'm going literally like, oh, there they go again. Don't give me this crap. I just need to get my work done. So I've been starting to read through it a little bit. And it's like once in a while, that's nice. But if I wouldn't have read it, I wouldn't have known. And then something just doesn't work right anymore.
Right.
So maybe some of it is on us. When we do get information that it changed, we should maybe be looking at it. What I find a problem, though, it comes up when you don't have time to look at it.
And exactly, and I think...
And then you want to look at, what was that? You can't find it anymore.
I feel like there has to be a little give and take on that one where we say, okay, yeah, you're right, we don't pay attention to these, but y'all need to find a way to present it to us so it doesn't hit us at a moment where the last thing on our brain is the thing that you're trying to tell us
right. And if you would like to see it again, so not now, but, pop it back up later or put it in the corner of the browser or something where you can click on it and say, this is helpful information. Maybe you ought to look when you have a minute.
Well, and it's kind of like, like you were talking earlier about your having an email account attached to it if you're using a name or whatever. But if you have that email account set up and everything, why can't they use that as they send out a weekly email or whatever, and it's always that. These changes are coming.
I think they do some of that.
Do they?
And then we go, Jesus, I got way too much emails.
But we got to find a way at least put some of that onus back on us.
I mean, what we're doing right now, I think my job is to point out those things.
Right.
Maybe you ought to look at these things a little bit, and because for the longest time, we've just been basically bitching about it. It's in my way, this crap they put up. Basically, that's what everybody says. And I woke up to maybe I ought to kind of read some of that once in a while, at least glance through it.
Sure.
So you have some idea?
Both sides have to give and take.
Again, what I've been asking for, they actually have been giving me, and I've been then ignoring it. Not helpful.
Right.
You know? So pay attention.
And you wonder why IT guys hate people.
Yeah. But, you know, it's difficult. It is a difficult machine. People overlook that. That it's a very complicated machine.
And it's just, it's one of those things that, you know, most of us as consumers, we know enough about computers to get us in trouble. We don't necessarily understand all the concepts and why things are done the way the things are done. We just come in saying, I want my email, I want to see my movie,
Right.
I want to download my song.
That's
and
another.
that's all I want to do.
That's another thing that has changed. That is kind of, I don't know, striking, mind-boggling, whatever. To me, it is. I made my money by helping people get a new machine or fix the old machine. Then we put the windows back on. No, to put windows, but we do all that for you. Okay, charge for it, make a living with it. And then the big part of it is get my files from the old or from the broken or whatever it is back onto the new one. So I'm kind of proud that I do that, and I'm pretty good at it, and that's how I make some money, right?
Sure.
And then early last year, I started realizing, oh, wait a minute. The new Microsoft account backs everything up online. It's all there. It syncs if you use Edge and save your passwords in Edge, what we never recommended, but it's a little better now. It's still not real safe, but it, you know, it's better than not knowing your password. Let me put it that way.
Gotcha.
So if you do that and you have the Microsoft account, your hard drive goes bad, like we said earlier. Put a new hard drive in it. You put Windows on it, and then you get to the point, put your Microsoft account in it. When you do that, your passwords, your stuff, your things, all that is related to Microsoft comes all back. Add-on programs, not from Microsoft, do not. So, unless they were bought through the Microsoft store.
Gotcha.
So I think we mentioned that last time, too. If you have an option to get a program, get it from the Microsoft store. It will update again and reinstall because it keeps track of that.
Gotcha.
So the scare to me, I don't know if it's a scare, but it's like, hey, I don't have no business left moving all this stuff over. It goes by itself. Well, over the whole last year, when I realized that, what used to take me an hour or so, now is 4 or 5 hours sometimes. And it's because the customer doesn't have the Microsoft account or is set up incorrectly or it didn't function right. It's getting better, but there's many misses in there.
Which makes a lot more hurdles for you to go around
so
to get.
what happens is, you know, the one thing I felt proud, the lady was asking, can you do this and that and that? And yeah, sure, we do that all the time. So I said, and here are your files. And the answer was, well, I don't really care. But can I get to my email? Well, yeah, just go to your email. Well, how do I do that here on this new, what's your email? Gmail. Well, type in the address bar gmail.com. What? That was set up by somebody. She just clicked on an icon on the screen, a link in the browser, whatever. However, it was shortcutted, if that's a word. How that was done, and that's what they want on the new machine. In their mind, that's how it works. So the new one should do the same thing. Well, no, it doesn't know anything like that, you know. So we have to work on that. So, okay, who do you have email from? Well, my email. You know, if I need to send you an email, where do I send it to?
Right.
Oh, me@gmail.com. Okay, so you have Gmail email. Okay, fine. So you enter that into the browser and say, okay, now your login then is most likely your email name that we send email to. Oh, okay. Wow, that's neat. Didn't know that. The people have no idea. So you put that in and say, now the password. And guess what the answer always is? I don't have a password.
Right.
Yes, everybody has a password, but it gets entered in automatically. So now we got to figure out what that is. We do that. Half an hour later, we got finally all the hurdles done, and we have Gmail. And then you say, what about my Amazon? What about my Yahoo? What about my... They don't know anything about it. And if they do know, more than half the time it's wrong because they get a book out and it has been changed, but the book's not been updated.
Right.
So that's what used to copy files over. My time involved maybe an hour or so. And maybe it took longer sometimes, but, that's the time you work on it, maybe. Now it's like fixing the customer with the login accounts and the emails. That's what really has changed. And that's where Microsoft will come in if you follow Google the same way, by the way. If you have a Google account and sign in that in your browser correctly, that will duplicate everything everywhere too.
Okay.
So I don't know how to put it, but maybe quit bitching about Microsoft. They are doing something that helps you.
Right.
Now they're doing other things that don't help you.
Sure.
When they say you have coupons on this website, I could care less. I'm not there for shopping. I'm there for information, for my email, whatever.
It's almost like we got to find that, because obviously at the end of the day, they're a company making money, selling things to you. That's how they make money and do things. They're going to do everything in their power to continue to do that, because that's how they. But at the same time, there's got to be a way to balance that functionality of, hey, you got to really pay attention to this versus this is me marketing to you.
When companies,
there's got to be a better
when companies
separation.
get big, they also get a little bit, what word to use, arrogant.
Yeah.
We know how the best way of doing it is. And, I've used this example. It's like, let's ask the customer what they want. Well, we want this, and we don't want this thing here, The number one is okay. We don't care really, but maybe that's beneficial. But what you're doing there on what we call number two, don't put that in there. We hate it. Okay, great, wonderful. We listened to you. We heard you loud and clear. By the way, we have this number one thing going that works pretty good, and we put in the number two thing. We are really proud of that one, and it's all functional now. What did we just ask for?
Right.
Do not do that. But, they think it's great and wonderful. Sure. And some things are in the longer run great and wonderful, but some things, they go away. They don't stay. They didn't apply.
Right. Well, it's like, and all companies do it. It's not just like, for instance, I have an Apple phone, and I got a notification that I needed to do an update on it this morning. Right. So I did the update. And I get the phone back. I look, another stupid app sitting on the phone there,
right,
called Journal. I'm like, what am I, a 7-year-old girl? I'm not doing journals. Why are you just throwing this stuff on there? But to the point of what you're saying
well,
here.
I think part of the problem is that is, again, the computer, the phone is a computer, is not a single-use device, if you know what I mean.
Right.
If you have a radio, you turn it on, you search for a station, you listen to it. If you have TV, you watch it. If you have a toaster, it makes bread or toast bread or something like that in it. An oven cooks food, And then it's not quite the exact analogy here, but the computer does all those things in one machine. But now you got to select which one, what one. Then on top of that, I want to use it for this purpose.
Right.
You want to use it for that purpose. And they want to use it for that app you just were talking about that we, both of us, never want or know. But you find out that there's a bunch of people that say they use that crap.
Right.
And they will say, crap, it's really good stuff. Why don't you use it? It's so beneficial. And a machine does all those things in one machine.
Right.
And that's part of the issue. How do you cut off the stuff you don't want? Well, you kind of can't.
Yeah.
You just don't.
I just wish there was like a big checklist. You could go down and say, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that, want that. Save.
That would be great.
Save. And then
that would be
everything.
Great if you knew what they were.
Exactly. That would be
because some of them you will turn off because you go like, that is, again, crap that I don't want.
Right.
And then a year later, somebody explains to you what they did, and it's like, I've been asking for that all along.
Yeah.
But the name didn't make sense to you. You didn't read really up what it did, or you're too busy.
Right.
And then you miss it. It's just...
Yeah.
Can't seem to win, from both sides, kind of.
At least that way I could trial and error it. Be like, oh, yeah, it turned out I did like that one. Check it back again. So, but anyway, but that would be...
All I can say that over the years that I've done this, what is now, 35?
Yeah.
Going on 35 this year, I believe. Anyway, since I've done it, it has gotten better.
Yeah.
And then some people will argue it's not. So you want to go back to C:, and then you have to type in what you want.
If you wanted to play Hangman 30 years ago, it would have took you 2 days worth of programming to play a game for 10 minutes.
Right.
It has gotten way better.
Yes, it is.
But let's, I just all the time probably should, of course, if you're having computer issues, whether it's a new one that's not cooperating or an old one that's getting a little crotchety and fidgety and needs some love, John can help you navigate through that. If you want to make an old computer new again, he can help you with some of that.
Yep.
If you want to, or maybe you bought one of these big box store computers and it doesn't do the things you thought it was going to do, talk with John. Maybe he can do some tweaking and upgrading or swapping out to make it suit your needs a little bit better.
We can do that.
Absolutely. Yes. But come on by. He serves morning hours for customer triaging and things like that, Monday through Friday, 8 to noon.
Yeah, 8 to 12, Monday to Friday.
I'll let you do this since you got better voice.
I try to leave no later than 12:30 if you come in at 12, so I have an hour to handle it. The last year, things have changed a little bit more. Sometimes the door is open in the afternoon because, depending how busy it is, whatever. Sure. And, don't be surprised the door is open once in a while, but you can always call. And the reason I wouldn't take you in the afternoon is because I'm on a service call or something like that. I'm not there always.
That's kind of what you do in your heavy lift
Sometimes
projects.
I will not respond. Well, I will respond to you, but I will say you have to bring it in the morning because I'm overloaded with work. Got to get it out.
Sure.
But, I'm slowly, I get a little bit more time in the afternoon because of all the changes, how the Windows works, how things fix and whatever. And if you have a problem, need to be in the afternoon, by all means, call. I try to answer the phone between, 7 in the morning till 5:30, something like that in the evening. And if it's an emergency, a lot of times I'm there and say, come on over, and I'll open the door for you, let you in, see if we can fix it.
Absolutely. So call. And then, like I said, if you don't get John live, leave a voicemail. He will call you back.
If you leave a voicemail, I will respond to it. I'm still old-fashioned. I don't do much texting, but if a text gets left, I respond to it, but not quite as quick, I guess. I miss them still.
Sure.
And then email. Some people email these days. That works too, but in general, I do the email in the morning, get everything handled.
Slower
and then
response
the next morning, I do the emails again. So the best thing, if you need immediate help, just call.
Yep.
And then the number is 575-625-9141.
And, of course, the store is located behind the Wool Bowl on Garden.
Garden. And that's behind the Wool Bowl.
Yes.
And don't confuse it with Atkinson.
Yes. Garden Wool Bowl. Can't miss it. It's right there.
Right,
Come
next
on
to
in.
the railroad tracks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, on the north side.
That's right. And if you want to butter John up, bring him some coffee or candy or something. He'll be happy.
Coffee we don't have anything to go with it. I'm trying not to eat too much at the store.
I get you. A lot of computer equipment around there.
Yep.
Now, please leave drinks and things laying around. So. But John, as always, appreciate the visit, and I'm sure you got a few people waiting at the shop for you now.
I hope so when I get back.
Good
Got
deal.
something to do. I'm fairly caught up, so
Good
we
deal.
we can handle some new work.
Well, get him busy early. That way he can stay warm because it's kind of cold out there.
It is.
Idle
We got
hinds
the
make it
heater
cold.
on. It's nice inside. Come
on in and
Right.
warm up. So, but thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anytime. It is 7:54. Let's pause for news. Sports update. Quick break. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Federal charges now filed against two men accused of delivering more than 66 pounds of methamphetamine through southeast New Mexico. The supply reportedly came from Durango, Mexico. In all, more than 30 kilos. Court documents show the delivery driver agreed to sell his shipment at a wholesale price of $75,000. Problem is, the man he made the deal with was an undercover federal agent. The two agreed to meet at the IHOP in Roswell. Both men were arrested there. The 2024 New Mexico legislative session officially kicked off on Tuesday. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham giving her 6th State of the State address. Lujan Grisham doubling down on the need for gun law reform while also calling for tapping into the state's permanent fund, this time for water and energy projects. I'm also proposing that we dedicate 2% of our severance tax permanent fund, $170 million, to catapult forward the advanced energy sources of the future. hydrogen, geothermal, next-generation battery storage, the governor said. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
In a time where humans and technology collide, ineffective technology plagues our businesses, schools, and healthcare environments. DSI Document Solutions has emerged as New Mexico's safeguard from the pains of slowed productivity, providing our nation's top business technology, workflow strategies, and support. DSI is here to boost your productivity and reduce your costs. Get ready for success. Visit our new website at dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was Roswell versus Goddard in the, biannual rivalry. They play twice a year, right? And that was in boys and girls basketball last night. Last night it was at the Roswell High Gym, and it was a sweep for the host Coyotes. In the girls game, Roswell wins 57-52 to move to 10-6 on the season. Roswell will next be in action at Rio Rancho Saturday at 2:30. Goddard at 4-11 now will be hitting the road a little bit sooner. Moriarty is the destination Thursday at 5:30. And then the guys came out and Roswell took care of business, winning 69-45. The Coyotes are 10-8 and will be hosting Rio Rancho Friday at 6 o'clock. Goddard at 2-12 now will be going to play at Chaparral Friday at 5:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Winter weather is continuing to disrupt air travel. As of Tuesday evening, over 8,000 flights were canceled or delayed. The storm has impacted airports across much of the country. A federal judge has blocked JetBlue Airways' planned $3.8 billion acquisition of ultra-low-cost carrier Spirit Airline to ensure that air travel remains affordable for more U.S. consumers. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is expected to propose rules this week that further rein in banks' ability to charge customers a fee. The banking industry is gearing up to fight back with a multi-million-dollar marketing and lobbying campaign. While banks have drastically cut back on overdraft fees over the past decade, the nation's biggest banks still take in roughly $8 billion in overdraft fees every year. Google is laying off hundreds of employees in its advertising sales team. The move adds to signs that job cuts will continue this year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, for over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
You know, it's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, to forgive us. But you know, it's really a gift that we give each other. You know, the Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
The Artesia Arts Council presents Gunhild Carling, Sweden's Queen of Swing, Saturday, January 27th at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in downtown Artesia. Gunhild Carling and the entire family of musicians, singers, dancers, and more promise a dazzling evening that you and your family won't soon forget. Pre-sale adult tickets are $35 and $25 for K-12. Week of show tickets are $45 and $35. So get yours early at artesiaartscouncil.com. Enjoy the marvelous Gunhild Carling, Sweden's Queen of Swing, 7 p.m. Saturday, January 27th at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Winter just will not say goodbye. The Pacific Northwest bracing for freezing rain, possibly some snow, following a weekend of strong winds that knocked down trees and cut power to thousands in the area. Across the United States, very cold weather. It was 11 degrees above zero in Atlanta, and there were some freezes in Florida. National Weather Service lead forecaster Bob Oravec says a new storm system is on the way.
There's going to be one more shot of really cold Arctic air that sinks southward
out of Canada into the middle part of the country on Thursday and then eastward into the eastern U.S. on Friday. However, after that, it looks like the weather pattern changes and the temperatures are going to be becoming more mild as we get into the beginning and middle part of next week.
And throughout Europe, heavy snow and freezing rain, especially hitting Germany very hard. Thousands of flights and train schedules have been affected. Also, a number of schools have shut down. Also, at townhall.com, Pakistan has recalled its ambassador to Iran in an escalation of a dispute over a deadly drone and missile attack.
In a statement, Pakistan said that Iran's actions were in violation of international law and had no justification, as well as recalling its own ambassador and asking Iran's, who's not currently in the country, not to return. Pakistan has suspended all high-level visits planned between the two governments in the coming days. Iran has yet to make an official statement, but it was Iranian state media which first reported that the military had attacked a Sunni militant group, Jaish al-Adil's headquarters, using drones and missiles inside Pakistan. The group has since said that the attack killed civilians and militant family members and has promised retaliation.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The Supreme Court allowing a court order to take effect that could loosen Apple's grip on its iPhone App Store.
The justices rejected Apple's appeal of lower court rulings that found some of Apple's App Store rules for apps purchased on more than 1 million iPhones constitutes unfair competition under California law. The appeals stem from an antitrust lawsuit filed by Epic Games, maker of the popular Fortnite video game. The court action allows app developers throughout the country to insert links to other payment options. That change would make it easier for developers to avoid paying Apple's commissions. I'm Shelley Adler.
Amazon will partner with Diamond Sports. That is part of a restructuring agreement as the largest owner of regional sports networks looks to emerge from bankruptcy. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. The correspondent Ed Donahue says a judge is blocking JetBlue's $3.8 billion buyout of Spirit Airlines.
The Justice Department sued to block the merger, and federal judge William Young is siding with the Biden administration, saying the deal would reduce competition. Spirit is the nation's biggest low-cost airline. The administration fears the merger would drive up fares. JetBlue says it disagrees with the ruling and is considering whether to appeal. In his ruling, the judge wrote, "Spirit is a small airline, but there are those who love it. To those dedicated customers of Spirit, this one's for you." The ruling could open the door for another budget carrier, Frontier Airlines, to make another attempt to buy Spirit. I'm Ed Donahue.
On Wall Street at this hour, early day of trading, still a lot of red. The Dow is off 61 points, S&P 500 down 33. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ, the demolition. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, welcome to it.
Believe it or not, this is an improvement in my voice.
Oh, yeah. You can. He came in this morning and said morning and got the whole word out. Like it was back to normal as I've heard it.
Right. But I can only do it in like one word every once in a while. And then the rest of the time it's like this. Like it'll sound this, and then like one word will come out like clear as a bell. Like yo, it's a store and Bob said.
It's like that. It's that weird thing of like when you're trying to talk to somebody at a loud party, and right when the band stops playing is when you say the awkward, embarrassing thing.
Stops and looks at you. The record screech.
And that was the second time I made out with a horse.
Right. Yeah.
I said the quiet part. I said the loud part during the quiet.
I'm extra good at that.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've done that more than the average person on the planet.
Right.
I have a knack for that one.
And you'd think that, working in radio, we would know, when to pick our spots. It's not true, man.
Well, and this is where the smart Alec, Gene, and me bites me in the butt. It helps in certain situations, kind of helps, get me a radio gig. So that's a good thing. But it also, when I get into the mode of I'm going to start saying stuff and entertain the crowd or whatever, that's where I come off the rails.
Sure.
And
it's the wind up to the pitch.
And that's usually in those scenarios where there's a crowded room and it got quiet all a minute, and then there's my punchline. And everybody's like, what? Like, you had to be there for the rest of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to hear the full depth of the thought. You got to wait till the band stops playing.
Yeah, I'm notorious for that one. So. But as a person that does that, it makes me a fan of when they get trivially on Twitter. Like over the weekend, this last Sunday, Monday kind of thing. Again, being a Washington Commanders fan, I this one kind of fell in that. But on Sunday night, when the Eagles were getting smoked by the Bucks, or was that Monday night? Monday night when the Eagles were getting smoked by the Bucks. Jay Gruden, who is a former head coach of the Commanders, his brother's John Gruden. You might have heard of him. But anyway, he got to the Twitters and said, if I ever left a quarterback out on the field the way they're doing Jalen Hurts, I apologize. And he goes, protect the man, or he said something to that effect. And then from there, RG3 chimed in saying, well, you told me you didn't know how to deal with a quarterback like me. You weren't prepared. And then another former Redskin, Brian Mitchell, who he's a radio show host. He was a big deal in the 90s and 80s for Redskins fans.
Right.
But anyway, he chimed in and started talking smack. And there was like this whole stupid, literally, I know you are, but what am I moment with 3 grown men on Twitter. Awesome. And the world watched it. And
of course,
it makes you think, it's like these people at one point were in charge of multi-million-dollar franchises. And they're down to, I know you are, but what am I on Twitter?
It just goes to show you none of us are growing up. We just grow older. We're all 7-year-olds, basically. Right. We're just fully grown 7-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
With access to way too much technology.
Yeah. So it's a curse, but I do really get to enjoy moments like that because I take a special.
That's when you you pull off the Michael Jackson pop. You just sit back with the popcorn.
That's right.
I'm just here for the show.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm here to watch Rome burn, sir.
All the memes. I got the Kermit tea. I got the Michael Jackson popcorn.
See, that's what's so funny is everybody's like, well, the whole Nero and watching Rome burn. It's like, yeah, but we get to do it with funny memes.
That's right.
At least we watch the world go down. We're watching it go down with some at least a little self-awareness and humor.
That angry blonde lady that I keep thinking it's Madonna. That one. The one that she's like. It's usually with the cat.
Yeah.
From my head,
it looks like Madonna.
It kind of does.
And I'll be honest with you.
Not new Madonna, older Madonna.
Right. And the one with the girl who's thinking. I always thought that was Julia Roberts. I had that cleared up. That's some chick from a telenovela.
And to be honest, speaking of Jay Gruden, there's one of a guy that kind of rolls his eyes. Meme. That's not Jay Gruden, but I keep thinking it's Jay Gruden because he actually did a thing where he rolled his eyes. And there's a meme of him rolling his eyes, but it's a different meme. And the guy just happens to look like Jay Gruden.
That's funny. There's a specific type to it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Anyway, so I found that amusing, that whole thing.
So I know you don't have Peacock. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, I do not.
And I feel like there has to be that one killer app to get you over there. I think I found it.
They keep teasing me.
Okay. I don't know if you can borrow somebody's password. You have got.
I gotta know someone that has Peacock. I don't even know anybody.
What's up, dude? You can't borrow mine though. You have got to watch Ted, the new series.
There's a series called Ted.
I thought I've showed you this.
I must have forgotten.
Yeah, it's Ted. It's basically the prequel to.
Oh, that's right. I remember talking about. They're kids.
It's him.
Yeah, they're him as kids.
It's
That's right.
Ted and John, but John is 16.
That's right. Okay.
I started it a couple of days ago. It is wall to wall the funniest thing I've ever watched in my entire life. The scenarios and some of the things that have, I really don't want to spoil anything, but it's like pure Seth MacFarlane. So, you have all the people that you know the voices, and I'm sitting there like, that's Cleveland, but it is so hilariously fun. And it's you too. Like there's one episode I just started where they're playing roller hockey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or street hockey. And I'm like, there you go. But it's just, they could not have picked a better kid to play John. Like I have had every time I'm watching the show, the hair's a little off, but beyond that,
right.
It's like this is Mark Wahlberg as a kid. He got the voice right. They got the back and forth. And the back and forth, it's so funny. Just like Ted and John will just like be sitting there like at a locker, and just to pass the time, they'll just be doing things. Or what was it? They had to run away from home, and so they did this whole string of goodbyes to all the things they were going to miss at the home, and it keeps going for way longer than it should, like for like a full minute and a half.
Well, that's kind of the whole Ted, even Seth MacFarlane sense of humor. He'll beat it into the ground. Yeah.
It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So
I do want to check it out. I'm a bitter dude because I want all these things.
Right.
I want them. I do like it. I'm tired of spending. This is partly because of my wife and being married. Like I would do it in a heartbeat, but I'm the guy that wants to cut. I want to get rid of all my DirecTV and all that stuff because if I'm going to do all these, my wife and I don't watch TV the same.
Right.
And she's got to do it this way. I prefer this way. But if we do it both our ways, I'm spending an incredible amount of money.
No, it's
on entertainment.
It's because you guys are teetering on that cord cutting like generate. Most people, younger than you, are starting to kind of do that. Get rid of cable entirely.
And me personally would have had it not been for my wife. When we got the new TV here about 6 months ago, I was like hard selling. Let's just dump this. Look, I'm getting this YouTube Sunday ticket. If you really, really, really want something, I can get this for about half the price. It's about the same channels, and you can watch it like a TV. But you got to go to input first instead of, just turning on the TV. And she was like, no, I don't want to do that. And so I'm like, ugh. So
it's amazing how much we will pay to avoid technology, or to avoid having to take steps. And I'm
honest,
the same way, honestly.
If she would learn it, it's easier. It's just not turn on TV, hit channel button to change,
right,
or hit the guide button to change. That's what she wants. She wants to hit the guide, and the guide comes on. Like, you have that, but you got to hit a couple buttons to get to the guide. That's it. But she doesn't want to play that game. So
I understand. Convenience is an expensive mistress.
So I will probably buckle under, get Peacock at some point when I just cave in. But part of me is like, well, I'm going to dump Disney Plus because I don't watch any of that stuff. I watch The Mandalorian when it comes out, but I'm not waiting 3 years to watch another Mandalorian and paying $6 a month where I'm paying for Disney Plus.
Right.
So, and I know there's bundles now, but I already got Hulu. I don't have nothing to bundle. I've already bundled what I'm going to bundle.
Right.
Like Paramount Plus, I have, but I bought it through Amazon, so I don't have a Paramount Plus app. Like, I can't go and download the app and watch Paramount Plus.
Right.
I have to download the Prime app and use the channel for Paramount Plus to watch my Paramount Plus. And but to explain that kind of stuff to Kim, it's just not her wheelhouse.
Sure.
Brian Luck is patiently waiting.
That's what we were trying to say.
In the other room here, superintendent gives an update on the last school board meeting and other things happening in and around the school district. But before we do any of that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little cool today, but we'll be warming up as we get through the rest of the week. High pressure will stay parked over the Four Corners, so things look good today. Lots of sunshine, upper 50s to mid 60s. The wind will be a little bit gusty at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds, mid 30s to low 40s, and then tomorrow we're expecting highs to be back in the 70s, breezy and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 18 degrees here in Roswell. It will get warmer. We got a nice day today, despite what it says right this second. But currently 18 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 43%. Winds are out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Expect highs near 60 today under sunny skies. Winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, looking at an overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, even warmer, sunny and 70 tomorrow. Yeah, we're supposed to hit 70. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning. But they got to pick them winds up, make it a little breezy, just 10 to 15. Not too bad, but, we can't have nice things without giving us something negative. So a little bit of wind, but not too bad. Thursday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 25. North winds at around 10 miles per hour. Friday, getting cold again. Not 36 cold, but not too much farther. Partly cloudy, back into the low 40s on Friday. 41 for a high with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low of 19 degrees. Saturday, we're going to be back near 40. Partly cloudy with a high around 40. Mostly clear, cloudy with an overnight low of 25 Saturday night. And then back into the low 50s on Sunday, 51 for a high under mostly cloudy skies. And then up into the low 60s when you head back to work, 61 and partly cloudy on Monday. They do say tack on a slight chance of rain Tuesday, like a 20%. But we got a few days between now and then. We'll see if that dissipates or enhances. But if history is an indicator, expect the dissipation. All right, it is 19 minutes after 8. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then Superintendent Brian Luck will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Foot and ankle problems are often agonizing, but they don't have to be. At Artesia General Hospital, we're passionate about helping every patient return to optimal mobility with confidence and comfort. Our board-certified podiatrists, Dr. Jennifer Chow and Dr. Michael Krupa, provide a full spectrum of services ranging from routine foot care and pain relief to customized treatment plans and leading-edge surgeries. Visit artesiageneral.com/foot care to request your appointment today.
Here is your chance to get the furniture you've been dreaming of. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and it's time for a sale. We are giving additional discounts on everything in the store. That new bedroom set you've had your heart set on, a dining table for new family members, even artwork to enhance your space. It's all here right now at discounted prices. Don't miss out on this rare sales event. Come see us at Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Do you feel like time is running out for your to-do list? Don't let wisdom teeth get in your way. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. Wisdom teeth can cause you pain and a lot of unnecessary downtime. Patients appreciate the ease of wisdom teeth removal while they are comfortable and relaxed in our office. Call us today to schedule your wisdom teeth removal with sedation, and let us take the stress out of the situation.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455. Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including new sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecue fried rice in town. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup. And find Asian Market on Facebook for updates on open times and specials.
Hi, this is Nook. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, I feel like a teenage boy, Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, back with us. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good, other than that little part there. So,
I sounded good.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Not bad. Not bad. Had a good week. Had a better week than you've had. Up and running. We're fighting a lot of what you've got now in our schools. And
well, my wife had it before I did, and she's about 2 or 3 days ahead of me. But she did. Unfortunately, she didn't have this part, the voice and all that. That was reserved for the guy that talks on the radio. But,
well, that's how that works.
Yeah. But she's been telling me, it's like, and you're right. She'll come in. She goes, man, half the class was out today because everyone's sick, and it's going around. So,
and that's natural. I mean, it's that time of the year, and it's funny, the adage, the New Mexico weather. If you don't like it, wait 10 minutes and it'll change.
Absolutely.
70 tomorrow, and it'll be back. And it was super cold yesterday morning, and it's almost impossible to not get a little something. And
well, that's why I joked yesterday. I said, because I was talking, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be like 30 today, pushing 70 2 days from now. I said, oh, you know what this means? Y'all are gonna sound like me by the end of the week.
That's correct. That's correct. And I think there's some out there that are waiting for that and hoping for that. But we're just excited that we can carry on like what we want to do. And again, the lessons that we've learned from the past is, if you don't feel good, stay home, and don't bring it if you absolutely have to, or just feel like it's not something else. It's taught us to take care of each other and to take care of ourselves a little bit better.
Absolutely. So, and when your kids are dealing with some of that, it's probably a good idea to, your teacher probably already knows, but just keep them in the loop. Give them a heads up, and and they'll work and accommodate. It's like, hey, if they need to go home, we'll send their work with them. Well, we can do all that. When you work with the staff and teachers, they will accommodate. It's when you don't send your kid and then don't stay in contact.
Right.
This is where they have a problem. Is if your kid gets sick and they're out a week, I get it. They need to be out a week, but you need to stay in touch. You need to call and say, hey, what are they missing? Because if you just ghost for a week, they're going to look at that as a truancy thing, not we got a sick issue here.
Well, and the door was opened with some of our virtual learning that we've done. So a lot. The majority of our secondary teachers from the mid schools up have an account where the kids can log in, and the kids know it, and the teachers know it. It's the same platform that we'll use for some of those kids whenever we do a remote day due to the weather. It really did open a lot of doors. There's lots of bad that went with it. I'm not even going to go back to that.
Sure.
But there was some good things that came out of that, and dealing with this time of year. And again, this is New Mexico, and We do live in a desert, and it's going to be cold, and every now and then things will fall from the sky that look like water, and it will be all right.
Well, we don't get a little bit of nothing. It's usually it's nothing or the extreme of whatever that is. You know what I mean? We don't get an all-day rain day. We get thunderstorms with wind and damaging hail and wind, all that. Right. Where everyone else say, "Oh, it's going to rain today." It's not, So everything's either it's a million miles an hour or deader than a doornail. That's how this area is.
Cold.
Yeah,
you don't get days that are chilly. You get, oh my gosh, that was yesterday,
it's frigid or hot.
And it was interesting. So I had a little bit of questions. I was like, man, it was sure cold. What about a delay? What about this? And I kind of laughed. I said, well, at 10 o'clock yesterday morning, it was 14 where I was here in town. And I was like, I don't know that was
2 hours wouldn't have made much difference.
I don't know that was much of a jump, but we monitored it. And obviously, our bus company was huge with that. And
I imagine that was probably your biggest factor. Is
they had prepped
and the bus crank up and everything.
So about 5:30, I start kind of reaching out, and the bus contractors had got everything up and running and nice and warm. So when the kids got there, got everybody to school where the rooms were nice and warm and toasty. Didn't, knock on wood, we didn't hear of any major incidents. No water breakage, no heaters that didn't work. That kind of a deal.
Usually there's an announcement or something. Sure. Certain schools having a water issue. None of that this week.
No. And hats off to just to the people that take care of that, whether that be our district employees or the city workers that keep us up and running.
What we saw was everyone doing their job. Everyone basically the system working as advertised. We just saw it happen.
You betcha.
The way it's supposed to. And kids, that's a good thing. This is exactly how it should happen.
And then your job, when that does happen and everybody's done their part, is to go to school.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And that's going to be my mission from here on out, is that we had it taken. And I don't ever want to, if we have to do that for safety reasons, that's one thing. But, we can go. I was at a building yesterday morning, and I was really happy to see that the kids, as they were getting out of their cars, they had jackets. That was kind of my deal. I was standing out there, and I was bundled up pretty good. And some of them weren't very heavy jackets, but, they had a coat. And I was like, man, that's such a good start. And kids jumped out of cars and had a big old smile on their face, and they just went and did their thing. So we are always watching that. It is still January, and those things could happen. And
I would even argue too. We talked about like the maintenance side.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any burst pipes and any of that stuff. I could also attribute that to the last 20 years of upgrading and remodeling and renovating.
Yes,
because quite frankly, if this would happen 20 years ago, the temperatures, we would not be having the same conversation. Those buildings were older, less reliable buildings.
Right.
And now science, technology, they insulate pipes a little better. Things are done, a little stuff. Newer construction, these are going to handle the elements a little bit better than those other buildings sometimes. So we're actually seeing really the fruit of 20 years of smart thinking to last week's smart planning.
You bet.
All being in action here.
Well, until we jinxed it all right here by talking about it today. But no, it's very nice. And again, I've got a really good team that I work with. And I shot out a text to the transportation and then to my head of my maintenance department. And, it was pretty standard, business as usual. And I was like, well, let's go. So, but we're watching for that. And I get when and if we get to a spot, again, we won't shift into a school closure. We'll shift into a remote learning day. And it was interesting. I talked to a couple of teachers yesterday that were, talking to their kids, and that came up, well, why didn't they close school today? Because it was so cold, or why didn't we do this? And, the one that I was talking to, her comment was, well, I took that opportunity to say, well, if we had have done it, this is what would have been your expectations. And this is where you're going to go find your assignment. And they did that. It was a high school, and they did that with all of their classes. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Thank you for prepping those kids and getting them ready. And
well, this is why teachers are amazing.
They are.
Because teachers use every moment as an educational moment. That's what teachers do.
That's right. There are no bad moments, just good opportunities to teach. So
Absolutely.
You're exactly right. You want to talk about the board meeting?
Let's get some highlights from the meeting.
Awesome. So last night was our first board meeting for the new year, our January meeting. So we swore in one returning member, Miss Hilda Sanchez, and then we actually swore in a brand new member, Mr. Jared Ashby. And that was at our 5:30 special meeting. And then at our 6 o'clock regular scheduled meeting, the first item on the agenda after Pledge of Allegiance was the election of officers. So board voted, and Mr. Jack Cheney is the new president of the school board.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With Mrs. Hilda Sanchez as your vice president.
Okay.
Returning back to that position.
Well, she's got a lot of experience under that role.
She sure does.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Mr. Ryan French is your secretary. So congratulations and thank you, number one, to all 5 of our individuals, Mr. James Edwards, Hilda Sanchez, Ryan French, Jack Cheney, and Mr. Jared Ashby. I mean, thank you to them for even pitching their name in to do this. It's it's just not a thankful job at all.
It's a chair that's got a big lightning stick rod sitting on top of it.
It does.
And it's going to get hit about 1,000 times. And they willingly sit in those chairs and do the business of running a school district.
Yes, sir. And I have been very blessed with the boards, plural. Kind of nice to be able to say that now, that I've had an opportunity to work with and not work for. And I mean it just the way I said it.
Sure.
It's a very nice relationship that we have. And I think that they do truly have the kids' interest at heart. And that's very nice because a lot of boards aren't like that.
Yeah. And you mentioned your experience, you led the board and things. And for a lot of people may or may not realize, because you've been with this district as a principal and everything else, you've seen a lot of boards through various eyes, through a superintendent's eyes, through a principal's eyes, through a school teacher's eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you get to see it from a lot of perspectives. So, what you're seeing and what you're saying now kind of carries, to me, a little bit more weight because of just your experience of dealing with boards over the years and things like that.
Well, I will say this, and Roswell has a very rich tradition of good people that have stepped forward and have done work. I mean, I can think of people and going to meetings because you used to have to go to them. You couldn't watch them, but going to meetings and having interactions with them throughout the year, different times throughout the community. Roswell's just such a neat place. I mean, the people that get on there and they may not stay just for whatever reason, but they're willing to serve and they're willing to get out there and kind of expose whatever it is that they need to get done. And
absolutely,
it's just a really neat community that's willing to do that because not all of them are like that. I mean, some you get a group and it never gets a chance to have other people be a part of it.
Wow. How many of us have gone on social media and watched video clips from school board meetings all over the country, and you see some weird stuff going on? We don't have those issues because we have some good leadership in the room.
We do.
And I do want to take this moment one more time to thank Hope Morales, the former president of the school board who just stepped down here this last cycle. We thank her for her service, and she did an amazing job as a board member and a board president. And we're fortunately for us, she's not done serving. She's just wearing a different hat.
That's
now.
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
So, and that was actually my first meeting without her running it. So we've got good things in store for us. We're in a good spot. We've got good leadership. I think they have a good vision. We continually work to try to make sure that we're doing the will of the people here in Roswell. So got that done first thing. Had a really neat recognition for a young lady from Roswell High School named Marlene Rodriguez, who's been accepted to Columbia University.
Nice.
And we tried to get her to talk a little bit more, but a neat opportunity for her back east at Ivy League College. Super excited.
Is she studying?
I didn't say.
Okay.
And if she did, I didn't pick it up. It was, like I said, I think it was all we could do to get her to come forward and take that recognition because it was pretty neat for her.
Good, awesome. I love that. It's great to see. I hope she comes back, when she visits and got her big degree and she'll, maybe at that point she'll be willing to share
That'd be great.
Where her dreams take her.
That'd be great. Had an opportunity. So this was a little bit of a holdover from last meeting. Our four spotlight schools, and to be a spotlight school, basically it is you're performing above state expectations. So we're not back to letter grades and to highly this or that. They've changed the name. They've changed the wording on it. And so if
this is like old school report cards where it was satisfactory,
yes,
exceptional, does not meet whatever the lingo was.
I guess in layman's terms, if you're one of these 4 schools, you're doing something pretty good.
Gotcha.
You're not just doing good; you're doing really good.
You're going above and beyond what people are expecting you to be able to do.
So that would be Valley View Elementary, Military Heights Elementary, El Cap Elementary, and Del Norte Elementary. I will say this:
congratulations, 4 schools in the district.
Yes,
that are exceeding it. That's good numbers.
What was neat? I want to say Nancy Lopez was like 2 points away.
And so we got a bunch underneath that are.
So we've got a couple that
give them
right
a year;
there.
they're going to be on that list too. Yeah, love that.
Yes,
love that.
And I mean that a tribute to the work that everybody's doing. You know, we've got some really cool things that are going on, and the teachers have pushed to get to this. So this is not by accident.
They didn't stumble upon this. This is a goal. They're busting their tails, and they're meeting and exceeding those goals that are set.
Oh, by far. Shift over into our information items. Get back to my agenda here. My apologies. Had an opportunity to update on our strategic plan. So at our last meeting, we were asked to talk about how we're working with kids in distinction. So the PED has, in my opinion, has sort of shifted backwards to where we're using subpopulations. And so the board had asked that, okay, specifically, how do you address to help this kiddo right here in this subpopulation, or this one, or this one, or this one? So took an opportunity to go through and talk about that a little bit. Then had an opportunity to discuss some construction updates. So went into Nancy Lopez, specifically related to Mesa Middle School and to Nancy Lopez. So hats off to Wade Construction. They're our general contractor over there at Mesa. If you have not been by Mesa Middle School, part of it is no longer there, and the part that is still there, I don't know that you're going to recognize. So they have really done the lion's share of the demo. I mean, they've got the old part of the building down that we needed to get down.
A lot of heavy lifting done.
Oh my goodness. It is neat. It is neat to see. I had an opportunity to get into what I'm going to say would be the new part of the construction that hasn't been finished up yet, which is the admin offices and some of the the support area of the school, and got a chance to just kind of peek in and look at what was going on there. It's going to be gorgeous. We had taken over possession of the, I would say, the 2-story component of the school in the gym, the new gymnasium, and that was, last year. Actually got to do that. I think it was spring break. And so when the kids came back, they moved into that. We're looking at an April-ish, transition into the...
See how the weather and everything else cooperates, of course, when it comes to construction.
And we've done really... I think we've done pretty good with that. I mean, there have been some hiccups and there have been some supply issues, but...
Weather overall has been pretty cooperative.
Right.
For these days like yesterday, but we haven't had major windstorms, rainstorms that have caused damage to work already done and things like that.
No, and in the when we had the crew that would be what I would say the outside, for lack of a better word, when they were having to do some of the primary construction on the building, you're right. We were pretty blessed about that time. We had a week or so there that it got a little wet, a little soggy, and they weren't able to do things. But all in all, the project has been fairly close to on schedule. Really excited getting that one done. So turn our attention now to Nancy Lopez. And Jeremy Sanchez, my project manager, was giving the update last night and had a 8.5 by 11 manila folder in his hand, and that happened to be the deed to the land that we just swapped. And he had just got that yesterday, so we can go down to the county, we can get everything filed. We are good to go, getting ready to start construction on brand new Nancy Lopez.
Well, that's a lot of people wait a long time for that.
Golly.
It's finally, it is so nice to see it. We'll be excited to see the shovels come out and do the groundbreaking, all the fun stuff.
We'll do all of the above, and what a neat opportunity for that area.
Absolutely.
And I say that area, I mean, when we redid Del Norte, that area got a brand new school. When we redid El Capitan, that area got a brand new school. So it's really good.
In the Nancy Lopez situation, yeah, it's taken a lot longer than people probably wanted, but there was a lot of angles on that one with the property swaps, what do you want to do with it? Not upsetting the apple cart of the neighborhood already. There was a lot of variables that had to be checked before we could break ground and create the new Nancy Lopez Elementary here. So it just took several years of making sure all those dots connected and making sure we're not upsetting the neighborhood. And at the same time, we're trying to improve the neighborhood.
Right.
And now they got all that worked out. It just took a while because it was a lot of different angles on this particular one. It bumped up against a weird piece of property and a lot of logistics there. And it just took a while to work that out. Now that that's happened, now it's just a matter of when can we get this sucker built,
And I can't even let you say all of that without again coming back to there was a laundry list of people that helped push that one across the goal line, with our local state representatives, our senators, our city government. I mean, thank you. And I know I sound like I'm pandering, and I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
That when it's all said and done, we're going to be able to build a building and literally hand them new keys, and then maintenance will take the material, the supplies, etc., from Nancy Lopez and put it into brand new Nancy Lopez, and they're going to be able to not miss a beat. When you're talking about a remodel, again, I'm going to come back to saying, okay, you're going to remodel your house, but you're going to still need to use the kitchen, and every one of your bathrooms still has to be usable. But you also still have to be able to sleep in your bed, in your bedroom. That's what it's like when you remodel a school.
Hey, kids, go watch the movie The Money Pit with a very young Tom Hanks and a Shelley Long. There you go. That'll give you a good indicator.
That's about the whole of it. So thank you to our voters. We were given the opportunity to not have to do that. And you're not looking at having to mess with parking or anything. I mean, that school will still stay intact, and it'll still be able to do business as usual. And like I just mentioned a minute ago, they're already doing good things. You don't want to disrupt that as much as possible.
Exactly.
So really looking forward to that. Then we will shift attention. We have a lot of work going on behind the scenes already with Mountain View. So excited with that. And then Washington Avenue. So really excited.
This is all good stuff.
Oh, it's great stuff.
This is the labor of what the job is, because quite frankly, when they get to this list, then it's time to start back over. And the stuff they remodeled earlier, it's time for that to do its upkeep and updating or whatever it needs to be done there.
Yes, sir.
So it's an endless job. It really is.
Job security.
Exactly. Real quick, while we're talking construction updates, how about the admin building? Any updates on that construction or renovation?
We are still shooting for a July remove back into the what I would say would be the old part of the admin building. Have not been in there yet. I'm kind of I'm holding off on that one because I really want to be amazed. The contractor that's over there, Holloway Construction's over there. We've got multiple sets of subcontractors in there. I know that they have set the piping in the parking lot for the new chiller that's going to go in there. I know I actually walked out and tried to help the electricians whenever they were doing the electrical work, and they basically said that I needed to leave. But it's just a neat process, and the funny thing is they were pulling out the old stuff. And you look at that and you're just like, okay, number one, that's phenomenal. The quality of the craftsmanship and the material that it's held up that long. But then you see some of the size of the new wires that they're bringing in, and you're just like, holy cow, how did we do that the way that was? And the answer is we just did. But extremely excited about that. What the hope is that once we get that done, that we could maybe let, I don't want to say an open house, but for lack of a better word,
sure,
an open house,
a little tour and everything.
Let people see, because I mean that will open up the ability to use Pueblo Auditorium.
Yeah,
to be able to go and turn a switch and have it heated and cooled, without having to take multiple sets of days to do both.
What a concept, huh?
Well, like yesterday, for instance, the way the temperature was, and I'm in my 50s, early 50s, and I can remember going into the Yucca Center. And the radiator heaters over in the corner, and the popping and the cracking and the noise that it made. And it was, when it worked well, it was nice. but you can't just go turn that on
right
away.
It needs a minute.
It needs a second.
It's like that. They're like old people. You need a minute to get us going.
I'm not going to touch that comment. I'm not touching that. Move into some really neat action items. Excuse me. Our Mesa Middle School, the Mesa Middle School band director was there last night. He had 2 items up on the agenda. The band and the orchestra are going to go to Amarillo in April. And
by morning? So that was a bad joke. I was going to say by morning.
Well, and they can get there however they get there, I guess.
Go Amarillo.
I know.
I get a bad joke. Sorry.
I'll give you credit on that one. I'll give you credit.
Dad joke number 7.
You got me on that one. No, but they, excuse me, as a reminder, if you leave the state of New Mexico, we have to have board approval. So even if it's, I could travel all the way to Farmington for a school trip without board approval, but if you cross state line,
but you go to Lubbock,
planes.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Yeah.
we do get board approval. So they came in last night, talked about their trip, and board granted approval. They also received Peter R. Marsh $1,000 donation to the band program. So they were super excited about that. Super excited. Had a representative from the Roswell High School FFA who was going to take about 6 students to El Paso for a competition in welding. And he got to talk a little bit about the different types of welding that they'll be doing. And this, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd year that they've done this.
Okay.
You know, how can we help? How could we get, you know, what do we need to do to help you out
Absolutely.
as far as this goes?
And I love that because things like that, let's face it, welders make good money, but there's never enough welders. Like, it's an industry where you're trying to get into that you can write your own ticket. And so I think projects like this enhance that. So, you know, there's going to be a section of youth now. They're going to say, I never would have looked at welding, but now I see a competitive angle.
Sure.
That's fun for me. That might be a career, you know.
Well, and I mean, it's not unheard of to think that you won't have industry reps or you won't have people that are in the business that are there that'll be looking for talent.
Absolutely.
You know, your companies, your oil companies, your industries, excited and a neat thing that's starting to become just what we do instead of, well, that was neat once. And again, like you said, our hope is that you know, grows some legs and that can get a little bigger. So looking to you know, acknowledge their accomplishments hopefully when they get back.
Yeah, absolutely. Foster and support
You
that.
bet.
You know, and the same thing with the band and the choir when they go make these trips and things. The boosters and the bands, they bust their butt, you know, fundraising and doing things to help cover costs to do trips like this.
Right.
So support them. You know, the school board helps as much as they can, but, you know, there's only so much money and a lot of programs to distribute it to.
Right.
And so really, when it comes to these kind of trips and things, it's really the boosters and the students themselves that are doing the legwork, the grunt work to raise funds or do whatever they got to do these extracurricular activities in their world. So please support them. Please, when when they're out doing their car washes or they're doing their band walks and things like that, support them. Come out and rally and enjoy. They're entertaining. They come out. They usually, they work for their supper. They usually do a show while they're doing but they're busting their reward these kids for their hard work. Show them that hard work does pay off. And when you guys come out and support the car wash and all that, that's what you're cementing that for these kids.
Yeah. Well, and the it's funny because I have 2 kids that are involved in different activities, and it's hard because you do seek sponsorships and you seek donations and you seek help. I was having a conversation with someone, not a bad conversation, but I reminded them. I said, would we rather no one ever approaches you because no one's doing anything? I said granted, it would be nice if we didn't need to do some of the things that we're doing.
Sure.
However, if we were doing nothing because kids were doing nothing and people weren't doing anything, that's not a good thing either.
Well, and I would even make an argument that the school board shouldn't fund everything 100%. I think when it comes to some of these activities, I think you need to put a sense of ownership on the people that want to do it. And I think by making them earn it a little bit, gives it a greater appreciation. appreciation. I think it's part of the learning process for these kids too.
A little bit of a dog in a fight.
Yeah, exactly. So, sure, I'm sure the school board would love to help more, but I don't think they should. Like, not help more, but just pay for it outright. That's what I don't think, because I think you need to. They're at an age where they got to learn and cement that if you want something, you've got to earn it. You've got to work for it, and this is the kind of stuff that cements that stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Segway, early college, high school robotics team. So they had actually 3 different trips on the agenda, and it's their qualifying trips. So they're going to go to Amarillo in March. Then they're looking to go to Fort Worth, and then if they qualify at that point, on into Houston.
Nice.
So some neat conversations around their crew, and then I can guarantee after they go to their deal, they'll bring back their toys, and that's always a fun board
get them
meeting.
on the radio here, and
that is always a fun board meeting whenever they come back with their toys.
Maybe so, we get them to play with our toys on the radio.
Yes,
put in the good work.
Had 4 of our community schools, El Capitan Elementary, Mesa Middle School, Sierra Middle School, and University High School, receive $1,000 grants apiece, and then just kind of conducted some regular business after that. So all in all, I mean, we had a pretty normal January board meeting. A couple of the things that I'd like to highlight from out of the superintendent's report, over Christmas on the 22nd, our cafeteria staff gave out over 600 boxes of food. And that by itself, you're just like, wow, that's a lot of food. Okay. When you hear that it's in the, like 6,000 breakfast meals in those boxes, and 6,000 lunches in those boxes. What a neat opportunity that we had to help out the kids in our community and the families in our community. So hats off to them as well. Again, our cafeteria staff will be receiving the Golden Chili Award. I think it's on the 25th at the Rotunda at the Roundhouse. New Mexico grown products. We're sold on that. We'll use New Mexico industry as much as possible.
It's amazing. Miss Meeks, who's the Roswell food service director here, and Miss Montgomery in Dexter. I've had them on the radio multiple times talking about what they do, and when they do these kind of feeding the community type projects and events, it is so amazing that them and their staffs are really, and I know we talk about unsung heroes and all that, but the food service industry folks in every school district in this nation are amazing heroes. And, you and I growing up, we had the Adam Sandler lunch lady, mindset and all of that. And it is so not like that anymore, that mindset. These people are really taking whatever they can and feeding thousands of people every day. And they do it under strict criteria and guidelines. And some of it you might even argue, like, what are you thinking? Because they deal with stuff that doesn't even make sense. Right. But they got to do what they got to do, and they do it. And finding initiatives to work local, grown produce and locally sourced foods, these and still feed 6,000 people and not miss a step. They're finding that way to, okay, how do we get the prepackaged stuff in that we need because we got 6,000 of these to make? Right. But at the same time, incorporating our local green chili, our local fruits and vegetables, our local dairy, our local meats.
Well, and where we're at right now, I mean, obviously the timing of the year, there are no fresh fruits and vegetables grown locally right now. So you shift, you punt to the next stage, and you work from there. Our meat that we're getting right now is local, and there has been a definite difference from the lack of calls that I'm getting about the way the food tastes. And I've had multiple people say, you know what, that those steak fingers are not bad. And I was like, that's because it's legit and it's produced here. And
I just had an idea.
Oh boy,
a little side money. Let's couple of the schools, the lunch lady cafe, and the public can come in at lunch. We'll charge them $10 or whatever, and
Well, actually, I believe you're free to go eat with your kiddos.
I'm saying let's turn a profit here and make it into a little restaurant in each of these restaurants.
I believe you're free to go eat with your kids.
Just saying, let's make some money. Let's do this.
Well, I do know this. I know our food service department as a whole is able to do more with less than anybody I've ever seen.
They're amazing.
They stand outside when it's 143 in the middle of the summer, and hand out the hot dogs at the summer lunch programs. They're there. They were there yesterday morning when it was 4 degrees, and they're getting out of their cars and they're walking into those buildings, and they're doing the job so that our kids have plenty to eat, and going to get a little recognition. Excited about that. Wish we could give more, but for sure, if we're going to win an award, I really appreciate that. That's one of them.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank our service folks.
Sure.
In the food, because to all of them, these are the folks that without them, you don't realize how bad off we'd have it.
Oh, yeah.
They really are the difference between success and failure in the Roswell Independent School District.
Well, and they make you will eat, and that's not something, you have extra company show up, you can send somebody to the store, or you can do this. I mean, that's awful tough whenever you're planning out and the meals that you need to cook for this week for 10,000 kids don't exist. And they have always managed to make it happen, and we've never missed a dinner bill.
Well, as young parents that may have 2-3 kids, elementary school age, y'all know the struggles of just feeding those 2 kids lunch in your house. Take that times 10,000. That's what they do.
Nice round number. Yeah. Well, and that's when we're a little shy of 10, but if for the sake of thinking about it, it's 10.
Yeah, that's what they deal with on a given day. So,
and they cook 2 meals a day.
Exactly, and they do it when there's not even school. It's like when school's out, like the Christmas, summer, the holiday breaks, things like that. They don't get the break. They're cooking.
That's right.
Because guess what? Food doesn't take a break. We got to eat, whether it's Christmas or not. So they do it. So, is there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about, Brian?
I don't think so. I know we scheduled a board retreat, which is it's like a work session for the board coming up in February. I believe that'll be late February. Our next meeting, we're back to Mondays. I want to say February 12th should be the second Monday of the month. A lot going on. We've got both of our high schools that are fixing to shift into district. Had a big Roswell Goddard game last night, right in the middle of the board meeting. That's good planning on my part. But now I think they both have a couple, 2 or 3 games. I know our wrestlers are really pushing forward, getting ready for district. Got a little powerlifting season fixing to happen.
Yeah.
Got spring sports fixing to kick off. End of the year activities. I mean, we're going to be talking about graduation before it's over, and I am not looking forward to that because I got one graduating. So
you do.
I'm not looking forward to that.
It's a bittersweet year for you on this one.
It is.
So, but yeah, you're right. I'm like, you said it. I'm like, spring. Like, man, we're going to be talking about softball in like 2 weeks. Jeez.
Yes, sir.
Golly, it's going by quick. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
There's nothing other way to put it, but yes, it goes quick.
But Brian, thank you as always for visiting. Thank you for all the work that you guys do and your staff and everybody. And we look forward to next month talking about. Plus, we'll be probably getting towards middle to wrapping up legislative session. So there's probably a few things that'll come out of Santa Fe that'll be on our radar next month too.
Actually, headed up there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, my hope would be that we come back with lots of great things.
Yeah.
And I will say this: if I have just 10 seconds for a plug, pray for our legislators. Congratulations and thank you to them for taking a month out of their families to go and do that job for us here, because that's it's not what it sounds like it's cracked up to be.
It is, and then a 30-day, it's fast and furious. They'll hit the ground running, and they won't sleep until 30 days from now. So it's really pretty.
So thank you to them.
Absolutely, and keep writing them letters. Keep showing your support. Don't forget to tell them you're in their district.
Right.
They will put so much more weight on your letter when you tell our senators and our representatives that you're a member of their district. And because that's who they represent, that's who they care about. So just a tip there. But
there you go.
Thank you, Brian, as always. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right. It is closing in on 9 o'clock. time for some town hall news, and we'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. All eyes now on New Hampshire's primary. That is coming up next Tuesday, the 23rd. Donald Trump holding a rally in Atkinson, New Hampshire, telling supporters one rival is counting on independents to win.
Nikki Haley, in particular, is counting on the Democrats and liberals to infiltrate your Republican primary. You know that. That's what's happening.
And Mr. Trump says his supporters should ignore his large lead in the polls.
Don't believe the polls. Or even if you think we're 1 point down. We're not. We're like 30 points up. But don't believe me. You have to get out and you have to vote.
Authorities in Pennsylvania say 5 people have been killed when they were hit by a semi. Authorities say the victims had been involved in an earlier fender bender and were inspecting the damage when the big rig plowed into them. Also at townhall.com, White House says stopping the Houthi Red Sea attacks is paramount.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says the ongoing threat by Yemen's Houthi rebels to commercial vessels in the Red Sea was an all-hands-on-deck problem that the U.S. and allies must address together to minimize impact on the global economy. His comments on Tuesday came as the U.S. launched a new strike against the Houthis, the third assault on the Iranian-backed group in recent days. The rebel attacks have already caused significant disruptions to global trade. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Growing tension now. Pakistan recalling its ambassador earlier today to Tehran, a day after Iran launched airstrikes on Pakistan that it claimed targeted bases for a militant Sunni separatist group. Islamabad denounced that attack, saying 2 children were killed. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
I'll spare.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul wants to spend nearly $2.5 billion to care for the massive influx of migrants.
The migrants have overwhelmed New York City's homeless shelters. The migrant spending plan, which would include shelter services, legal assistance, and more, came as part of a $233 billion budget proposal. How the governor planned to deal with migrants had been a looming question ahead of the legislative session. The issue has the potential to damage Democratic congressional candidates this fall, with New York expected to be a battleground for control of the U.S. House. John Scott reporting.
Iowa GOP Senator Chuck Grassley hospitalized with an infection and is receiving antibiotic infusions. At the age of 90, he is the oldest member of the Senate. Veteran lawmaker had hip surgery last year but has appeared otherwise healthy. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Inflation across the United Kingdom increasing unexpectedly last month. That is a result of a hike in, of all things, tobacco and booze prices.
Britain's Office for National Statistics says inflation, as measured by the Consumer Prices Index, was 4% in the year to December, up from 3.9% in November. Most economists had expected the rate to edge lower to 3.8%. But despite the increase, inflation remains sharply lower at the end of 2023 than than at the start when it stood at above 10%.
That is correspondent Jeremy House reporting. With inflation trending down, the Bank of England ended nearly 2 years of interest rate increases in August, when it left the main interest rate unchanged at a 15-year high of 5.25%. On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow is off 30 points, NASDAQ down 175. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes.
I think this is my suite right here.
Mm-hmm.
If I can keep it here.
Keep it right here.
Not here or here.
Yeah.
But here.
Right in the creamy middle.
Yeah, then I can kind of sound sort of normal.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, as close to normal as one can hope for.
Yeah. I think, give me a day. Maybe I can start voicing ads again. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Boy, you are ambitious.
Hope it.
All right.
Not quite there yet, I don't think.
Just, maybe no, Flamin' Lips concerts anytime soon.
Yeah. Unless I need a voiceover of a sick-sounding person.
Yeah. That is one, I will say this. That's one thing. I don't go to enough concerts to know how to be at a concert. To know how to act at a concert. I figured this out after my last big concert that I went to, AJR. When we got back, we realized we really couldn't show anybody any of the videos or pictures that we took. Well, the pictures were fine, but the videos, because we were all scream singing to every single song.
Yeah.
Probably annoying the bejesus out of the people around us, but it was loud in there to begin with.
I've caught, because I too, I 5 years ago, I went to the Metallica concert in Lubbock. A great concert. But that was like one of the first times that I've ever gone to a concert and I pulled my phone out to record things. Mm-hmm. See, normally I don't, because I feel like I'm old school enough where I'm like, you're supposed to be living in the moment, not living in the moment watching it through your cell phone.
True.
And most of us do that when you get into that mindset. So I usually say, I'm not doing that. I want to see the room and live. I don't want to worry about whether it's going to look good on a video later. Mm-hmm. I want to experience it now. So, but Metallica concert was the first time I said, I want to tape a few of these live songs so I can go back and hear them myself. Mm-hmm. It was more for my own selfish need, not to try to show, hey, everybody, look, I do cool things. That mindset.
Well, so what I tend to forget is that we live in 2024, and if you're like, I want somebody to experience the visuals at a concert or something, so that's why you pull your phone out and videotape. Here's the thing: there's about 1,000 versions of people doing that all over the place. So if you just go to YouTube and type in the event that you were at, chances are you could find that show, maybe even in its entirety.
Metallica will sell it to you, actually.
Yeah, so I'm saying, if you want to show somebody a part of the show, you could just be like, here's the the finale from this show. You don't have to be the one.
I actually got the day after that concert. Oh, that's a spam text. Tis the season of politics, and
Mike actually gets text from Hormel telling him about new spam products.
Yes, that was a hickory smoked wasabi pea.
Ooh,
that's the flavor of spam that they introduced.
Nice.
I love how they make ghetto things and try to give them fancy flavors to make them. You're eating spam. Shut up.
Add words like pan-seared.
Right. This is a spam ahi. What?
It's spam. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the concert thing. But I just noticed, like, with the video, like, I heard, but it was so loud that I barely heard me in the video. Like, I just heard, like, this little kid version of me going, sleep with one eye. It was because it was literally so loud.
And that was at a stadium, though, too, right?
No, it was an arena.
Was it an arena?
It was where Texas Tech plays, the basketball and all that.
Okay.
Tasker, whatever that arena's called. I don't remember the name of it. But, yeah.
Okay.
It's not whatever they play basketball. It's Texas Tech.
Because we were at it was a theater that we saw AJR in, but still, that's a massive crowd.
Yeah.
If you're talking about, a full-blown arena, you can fit, 10, 15,000 people in there.
And now, in all fairness, because I've been to other heavy, hard concerts, but they were in either outdoor venues or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or smaller venues.
Right.
So it's not a real gauge, per se, but Metallica concerts I've been to in my life have always been 10 times louder than any other concert I've been to.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Granted, I've been like Van Halen and something. These were loud. And in all fairness, those were outdoor performances.
Right.
So it's not the same.
Right. No, yeah, those when sound bounces off the walls, it hits different decibel levels. So for sure.
I would be very curious to see Metallica in an outdoor venue and do a compare and contrast.
I would say besides Vegas, that show, the loudest crowd I've ever been a part of or been witness to was when Garth Brooks played in
Central Park,
Las Cruces.
Oh,
it was at that there at the stadium there, and that crowd was, uproariously loud. There was a part where Garth, spoiler alert to a show from 10 years ago, where there's a drummer's a cage over the drum. It's like a big globe. He climbs on top of this cage and just starts bull riding it, essentially, to the drummer's doing a solo. I think that people 2 seats over from me were like throwing T-shirts and stuff. People were losing their minds at the show.
People do that. See, and that's right. That's not my thing either. I don't want to be in a mosh pit. Even when I was of age, I'd rather sit and watch y'all beat each other up and laugh at you later.
Yeah.
That's kind of been my position on
and
this.
Still get to say that I was there.
Yeah. I watch it, but I don't want to punch people. I don't want to run into people with the sound of loud music. I want to hear the music.
Yep. You know what that is? That's the MC mindset. I want to be there to witness it, but I don't want to be there for the carnage.
That's me.
That's right.
Sign me up. That's how I roll. So we're going to replay an interview this hour. We had the folks from Many Hands Organization, Geneva Martinez and Big D, because I keep botching D's name. So we just call him Big D.
Denisio.
Yeah, Denisio. I want to call him Dominic or something. I don't know why. But anyway, Big D, they joined us. They were talking a little bit about the Gonzales Warming Center being open yesterday for the cold weather and stuff. But we really talk a lot about what their needs are because they need financial help. They have to keep money to a certain level to open the doors and things like that. But we explain all that in the interview. So I want you guys to hear that and see how you can help get involved. But we're going to play our interview we had with Geneva from Many Hands here in just a few. Before we do that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little cool today, but we'll be warming up as we get through the rest of the week. High pressure will stay parked over the Four Corners, so things look good today. Lots of sunshine, upper 50s to mid 60s. The wind will be a little bit gusty at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds, mid 30s to low 40s, and then tomorrow we're expecting highs to be back in the 70s, breezy and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 22 degrees. We're warming up, baby. I think we started at 10 when I started the show this morning. And now we're up 12 degrees. Not bad. Humidity is at 36%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are expected to hit 60 today. Sunny skies with a high of 60. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour this afternoon. Skies will be mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny and a high near 70 tomorrow. Yeah, it's hard to believe yesterday the high was 36. Tomorrow's going to be 70. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 early, 10 to 15 for the afternoon tomorrow. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Expect an overnight low of 25 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, 41. So we're going to go from 60 today, 70 tomorrow, 41 back down on Friday. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then looking at the weekend, partly cloudy, highs once again right around 40 on Saturday. And then Sunday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, but a high back into the low 50s, 51 officially. And then we'll be low 60s when you head back to work and school Monday of next week. All right, it is 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview with the folks from Many Hands talking about some of their needs and things. Don't go away.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and surrounding areas. Roswell Tire and Appliance has what you're looking for with a great selection of refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers, and ranges, and they can prepare your appliance as well with many models in stock and on sale. You can own it today. RTA services after the sale with repair, warranty, and delivery to Roswell and surrounding areas. Save big on a selection of scratch and dent appliances too, plus a great selection of tires and a team of people to help you when you need it most. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
At Artesia General Hospital, our board-certified podiatrists are committed to providing personalized care in a welcoming environment. Dr. Jennifer Chow and Dr. Michael Krupa offer the latest surgical techniques and treat a range of conditions including arthritis, bunions, joint care, and more. If you're suffering from foot, ankle, or lower leg pain, we can help. Visit artesiageneral.com/foot care to request an appointment and begin your journey toward happier, healthier feet.
The Crisp Air is reminding us that time is going by so quickly. It's already a new season. Isn't it time that you've thought about putting yourself first? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. Don't wait another minute. Come in and learn how you can replace that broken tooth with a dental implant. Now you too can have the confidence to smile ear to ear.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers, but we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for The Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
Get your tickets now for Red Zone Presents A Night with Jason Witten, coming to Artesia Saturday, April 13th. Jason Witten is an 11-time Pro Bowl selection and 2-time NFL All-Pro with the Dallas Cowboys and is currently head coach at Liberty Christian High School in Argyle, Texas. Jason is one of sports' top leaders on and off the field. Tickets are free, but you must have a ticket to enter. To get your free tickets, contact the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about Jason Witten coming to Artesia.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. Almost had a normal sound there for just a half a second there. And good morning. Joining us in studio this morning from the Many Hands organization, Geneva Martinez is back with us. And I'm gonna try not to botch this. Donicio Romero.
Just Big D's fine.
Big D, how you doing today, buddy? Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Morning.
For folks that are not familiar, the Many Hands organization is a relatively new organization started here within the last 6 months or so here, and its mission is to focus on the homeless here in our community, with the ultimate goal of a couple things: getting first people that are homeless, on the path to becoming homeowners and things like that. But the other part of this is the Gonzalez Warming Center, which, for folks that are not familiar, this opened up officially here about a month ago, and it is a facility that is here to provide a warming center / place to get out of the streets when we have the extreme temperatures and things kind of like we're experiencing right now here. Yeah. So first off, how, that's kind of thing, but kind of fill in the gaps where I just kind of left out there about what you guys do.
Yeah, so with Many Hands started, it's actually been about a year and a half, but I came on about 6 months ago as a to assist with the housing projects. We have 4 homes that are under contract for being rehabilitated and to create affordable housing through our loan program.
Gotcha.
And it was with a $40,000 grant. So it's a proof of concept that there's bigger state and federal money out there that we could, that our community really should be looking at, to try to bring down, we all want our piece of the pie, right? So our money goes up there. Let's try to get it back down here. Sure. And in the meantime, with Many Hands, we have, team leaders, and they all have different projects that sit really heavy on their hearts. And your own Jocelyn Smith here, she was very much concerned about not having a warming center this year. So in 2020, Enrique, myself, it was the city, and
Enrique with Communities Disaster Relief. For folks that are familiar there,
the Roswell Homeless Coalition, and I believe it was Joel Wood from Waymaker, who's the president of the Roswell Homeless Coalition, reached out to the city to let them know back in 2020 that the shelter was full. We were going to have a big winter storm. So how were we going to be able to address public safety when it comes to people that are houseless or don't have adequate heat? So at that point, the adult center was opened up, and we hosted people there for 2 days. Since then, we haven't had a building, and we haven't been able to partner up with the city to do anything like that. So Enrique from Roswell Community Disaster Relief and myself met with the city a few times, and we ended up taking it to social media, to the newspaper, just saying,
get the word out.
Right, we need something. And then the Gonzalez's stepped up, and they had a building that was on the market for about 6 months and wasn't really moving. And they prayed about it, and they reached out to Enrique and said that they would be wanting to entertain, what does it take to open up a center? And that's kind of how it all started. And then Big D came on board. He is our community outreach. So, man, what the very first day when we went and hit the streets, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh man, it was the
15th of December.
That was the 15th of December, yeah. And that day was just, it was our first day, so I didn't know what to do, you know?
I was about to say, do you have because I know you're also a pastor in our community here as well, too, so you have a lot of experience in the community, but was that the first time you kind of go into the homeless camps and visiting with people, the actual folks?
I started my ministry just kind of off the, I don't know, I just kind of just went with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I want to help the homeless. And then all of a sudden, Enrique and Helping Hands hit me up, and we linked up, and it brought me my heart warm. So then I met Geneva that first day, and she gave me like the motive, the ambition to go, because
she has a tendency to do that.
She could just, when they see her face and they already know like an angel's here. You know what I mean? And it gave me hope, man.
Sure.
that it could be possible.
So like, once now once you got motivated, well, when you got out there the first time, how was that? Like what? I'm sure it cemented it, but
I was very
it can be
excited.
overwhelming. It can be exciting. It can be nervous. I mean, it's a lot of emotion.
I was very excited. For one, I thought there was going to be more fear.
Right.
But I had no fear going into those bridges.
Humans fear the unknown, and we all have I'm sure if you told someone, what does a homeless camp look like? We all have an image, and I'm sure none of us think of it as a Taj Mahal, nice place we all want to sit back and hang out in. So we're all going to go in with that preconceived notion a little bit, rightly so. I mean, it is a dangerous place, but like you said, it's probably more humanity in there than people realize,
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up meeting an interesting couple. I call them a couple because there's two, but it was a mother-son. Mom was 82 years old, and her son was in his 60s. And we came up across him first, and they were already settled in for the evening because it was already dark when we went out. And the following day, we promised that gentleman that we were going to come back out and talk to him. And we found out their needs, and they were stuck here. They were broken down, and they needed to get back to where they were originally from. But they had, the elderly woman, she had been in the camp for 1.5 years and hadn't left. So, so their needs weren't so much to go to the warming center as it was to go back home to Utah, where they had better resources. And so we spent, on top of opening the warming center and getting everything logistically open there, we were also trying to get them bus tickets back home. And we reached out to the city. Juliana had mentioned that Church on the Move would purchase bus tickets. So we reached out to the city. I think Mike Matthews is the one that ended up getting a hold of Church on the Move, and they ended up purchasing bus tickets. So I do have some statistics since we opened, So since December 15th, we have served over 250 clients. That could be them coming in for a warm meal. That could be for them just coming in to get changes of clothes, from staying the night to just getting out of the elements.
It's taking whatever need for any individual that happens to walk into the building, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Since the 15th of December, we have now been open 15 nights. And then we've served, these are statistics from last week, so we've served probably, 250 meals now. Mm-hmm. Volunteer shift hours are close to 175. Training hours is over 50 hours. Street outreach, he has given out over 100 bags. So, and he's really good about not duplicating. So, he's had some face-to-face with over 100. We've had 3 people that wanted to go back home, that we were able to get bus tickets from Christchurch and Church on the Move. We've had 1 person housed, and we had sent another person to a different shelter out in Albuquerque that specializes with human trafficking victims.
Okay.
So
this person needs specialized services, and that facility had the personnel and amenities to do that.
Yes.
So, gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah. So
now here's the crux in this thing here. Obviously we look at the weather weeks like this week. We're like, man, that need's going to be a lot greater this week here. But here's kind of the rub. Like life in general, nothing happens without bucks. The money makes the world go round. That's just a fact of life. None of us can get around here. And so the ability for this warming center to be open every night, it really truly needs to be. It's at the end of the day, it's about funding. Yeah, I mean, you have a cocktail of ingredients, personnel, weather, all this to where you guys look and say, this is a night we're opening. But the big factor is, do we have the funding to support it for the night? And you guys have a threshold basically that says that if the funding's here, we can open. If the funding's not here, we can't do this. So really, yes, we're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for resources, items, clothing, food, all of the above. But money is a big priority here. If you're like, I don't know what blanket you need or socks or whatever, but I can give you a check for $100 or I can give you whatever. That is a really big thing right now because if nothing else, that's the funding to say we have the backing to open this building tonight so we can help people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just get right down to the nit and gritty. It does take funding. When Ricky and I met with the city, it was an idea.
Right.
It was zero funding, no budget line item. So we start budgeting of what it costs per day. It's $350 per day for the warming center to be open. That's not including the cost that it is to the owners. So if we're looking at what it costs monthly for the owners, we're right around $4,000. But
you was curious. Is the owners taking care of utilities?
They are right now. They're
Gotcha.
taking care of the note, the mortgage, and all of the utilities.
Gotcha.
So
basically, they're just giving you the key and saying, "Come on in."
They are and they are very hands-on, and they're volunteering, and they are
cool.
at all of the meetings, and they've stepped up as supervisors.
So they're
as well.
volunteers.
Yeah.
And donators.
And he has a heavy heart of missionary too. So he likes to meet with clients that want to better their lives as well. So, but $350 a day. We have a green light, yellow light, red light system. And so to open up, this is where I think a lot of the public has questions is who chooses and how do you determine if it's open? And it took us a while to get to this point to determining where we are with funding, where we are with volunteers.
Sure, kind of get a true picture of what protocol or what requirements you truly need to say, yes, we can open the door today.
Yeah, so our first protocol is under freezing, 34 degrees or 32 or 34?
32 is freezing.
32. Yeah. Under 32 degrees with precipitation, we open the doors.
Okay.
And then if we have 15 days or more of funding, we consider that we're in the green.
Okay.
Right now we're at 19.
Okay.
So we're very close. The bubble. Yeah, we're very close to getting into that yellow. So when we're in yellow, we only open during that 32 with precipitation.
Gotcha.
Now, if we're in the green and we have 4 more days of green, we look at the temperature. And if it's under 24 degrees, we open without the precipitation. It's cold. And those are bone-chilling cold where it's hard to even warm back up, even if it gets up to 50 or 60 during the day.
Absolutely. And to be honest, these are thresholds that we probably should raise, but because of the funding, because of where we're at, it's just not possible at this point. So if you're looking and saying this is kind of semantical and stupid, all right, you know what? We fix that. We have it so that there's so much money that we don't have to worry about green. Well, yeah, it's fine. We can. It's December. It's going to be cold. We're going to be open unless we get tomorrow where it's 70 degrees or whatever. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Ideally, we want to get to the point where we don't have to be like, all right, get out your thermostat. 24. Yeah. Let's do this.
Right.
But this is what we need to tell everybody. This all really got 2 months ago. We had nothing of the sort. Now we're sitting here a month with something like this. You got to crawl before you walk sometimes. Unfortunately, the desperation of the situation, we got to crawl pretty quick here, but we still got to crawl. And that's what we're doing. What you guys are doing right now with this is basically saying, look, this is all new to us too. We're trying to get it so we can do the maximum amount of help without completely depleting our resources here. How do we balance that? And this is the protocols until, the magic, starts rolling and more money and more resources start rolling in.
Yeah.
So.
And the ultimate goal is wraparound services, right? We are doing an amazing job keeping people alive right now, but our goal is to integrate people back into housing and hooking them up with the resources that are needed. So it's we have a long-term goal. Our short-term goal is to make sure that we get through this winter through March 31st, and that's where funding from our community is very helpful right now to help make sure we get through this winter. And then long-term goal is to look at that state and federal funding and what money is out there. And I think I'll be coming back a little bit later to talk about the point-in-time survey and what that does for our state and for our community. But that's pretty much a census of the homeless and kind of a snapshot of what we're experiencing here. And without statistics, really, we can't be asking for funding.
Sure. I kind of want to get to, and this is where I want to get the listeners involved here. First off, before we talk about soup and nuts needs here, today is day one of the legislative session here. I know you're always kind of keeping your finger on the pulse. Is there some legislation that you're kind of plugged in or looking at that they may be debating or talking about in this next 30 days pertaining to this kind of stuff?
So I have a meeting at 10 today, and I'm kind of going to be going over all of what's being introduced. So I'm not actually looking at any particular bill right now. I will be going up to Santa Fe at the end of the month with Leadership Roswell.
Gotcha.
And I might be going up prior to that for the New Mexico Coalition to End Homelessness. I usually try to make those, and that's where we really get to see. But it's a short session this year.
So
is it 40 days, 30 days? 30-day session. So
it's all budget. But, homelessness is not a luxury.
Yeah, we are looking at different counties and seeing what counties are matching the state with and how municipalities can get involved. And I think when municipalities work with nonprofits, we can get way more done than trying to do it on our own.
Absolutely.
Because if we had all the answers, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Well, it never hurts to shoot an email to your legislator, your representative. Always, because all of ours are really good to talk to. I will tell you this, though, pro tip, when you send your email or correspondence with them, tell them you're a constituent in their district. If you let them know, I know with Greg Nybert, I'm sure Candy and all the other representatives are the same way, but they will put more weight on those comments, because they get inundated with so much correspondence, mails, pack groups, and things trying to sway them. But when they say from people that are actually in their district, that actually are the people they represent, they do put a little bit more stock in that. So when you write your letters or emails to your representatives, tell them, I'm in your district. You're my representative. You're my senator. Can I, what's going on about this? And they will talk to you and get, because they do take that very seriously when it's their actual people they're representing.
Yeah, so. I do notice that.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is, in the meantime here, you guys need food, you need money, you need clothing. What are the items that really could, if people want to drop things off to the Gonzalez Center, what would be the most beneficial type items for you guys right now?
Right now we are in need of volunteers.
Bodies.
Yeah, we need bodies in there. Jocelyn is our volunteer coordinator, and we do have a website now. Do you know that off the top of your head?
Give me a second. I was just looking at it this morning. It's GonzalezHopeCenter.com.
GonzalezHopeCenter.com.
Yes.
And there's a contact button on there. There's also a donate button. Right now, we are running any tax deductibles through Hagerman Forward with Dan Jennings with 100% Travis County.
Yes.
We are also seeking donations for care packages for the point in time survey. So I always think of extremities. You want to cover your ears, your fingers, your toes, chapstick, hand warmers, things like that. Any non-perishable food items is always good.
Good. I know with homeless, socks and underwear are kind of a constant need. And those are the two things that you should donate new.
Mm-hmm.
If you got coats or other clothing that's gently used or whatever, great. But if you do want to donate socks and underwear, new, brand new, go grab a pack of it, all sizes, men, women, adults, kids. Don't forget the kids. People, a lot of times we think of men, which, yes, most of the homeless are adult males. However, there are lots of children, girls, boys, toddlers, and of course, women as well too. So don't forget the bras, underwear, all of that kind of stuff, various sizes. And kids, it's just like humans; they come in all shapes and sizes, just like everybody else does. So
adult diapers.
That's what that's what we needed last night was panties and undergarment.
Gotcha.
So that is a must that we need.
So like Depends and adult diapers.
Well, we have those
as well as the Pampers and
just briefs or boxers,
Okay.
or panties.
Okay.
Any kind of undergarments. That's something we actually really need right now.
Very good. So if you want,
I have tons of clothes. I have tons of clothes.
Good. So that's
but undergarments is one thing that I really
that could be the one. So please, go pick up underwear here. You can get your kind or what, or if you're boxers or briefs person, whatever your proclivities are there. We're just looking for warm clothing here on that.
Oh, we also have a minivan that was donated. That's kind of an incentive to our volunteers. Mm-hmm. So for every hour you volunteer, you get a ticket. And in March, I think March 31st, when we are done, we're going to raffle off that van to our volunteers. So it's kind of an incentive for those that are wanting to give back, and they might also get something in return.
That's something too that I don't think a lot of people realize is I'm going to guess most of the volunteers, most people that show up to turn out and all this, they're in a lot of cases, some of these folks are probably 3 steps away from being homeless themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most of our volunteers are definitely relatable to the situation.
Exactly. And so, so some of these folks are doing it because, pay it forward. That could have been me or that was me a year ago. And so that's, people are, that's why humans are great. It's, when you see 2 people and they ain't got but 2 sticks to rub together, but humanity's like, here's my other stick. You know what I mean? And that's, you see a lot of that in this community. And so that's great that you're seeing that kind of stuff here. But that being said, if you're like, van's awesome, I don't need that to help out, don't, come, please help. Oh, if you'd like to volunteer, if families, we always talk about teaching our youth to be servers in our community and being a servant's heart. And these are the kind of things like this to do as a family to show them, you have it pretty good. This is not everybody has it like you. Let's be warm and open to that and how we can help. And volunteering at the shelter on a Friday night with your family, if it's cold, just helping passing out drinks or blankets or whatever. That's a good thing. And I think it'll be well to teach your children that or show your children that side.
And we're only asking for a 4-hour shift. We're not asking for a whole day of your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just 4 hours.
You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to, you don't have to be this fountain of knowledge on how to do all this stuff. If you just have a heart and desire to help people, the rest will work itself out.
That's right.
Definitely. Can you carry a bottle of water over to someone? Can you sit down and pray with someone or maybe read a book or just listen? And you got this. It's just being a human and connecting with people. So
board games.
Exactly. But if you'd like to donate money, food items, all of the above will help. But if you want to go the clothing route, underwear, undergarments, men, women, children, adults, all shapes and sizes, all, but think about it from functionality too. We're talking about, colder months here. So bigger, warmer is a little better when you're going to go buy socks and things. Those wool socks, and I know they're not always the sexiest looking, but man, they sure are warm, and they're warm when it's wet. Yeah. That's the great thing about wool. If wool gets wet, it will still keep you warm. Mm-hmm. So that's why wool's always a good item for our homeless folks here. So, but and by the way, let me give the actual address for folks that are not familiar. It is at 405 East 3rd Street. Right, that is the actual physical address of the Gonzales Hope Center there.
And then they can look at the website to see if we're open. There's a phone number that will direct people to let them know if we're open that evening. And then also, is there a donation drop-off time that we specified? Is it going to be that Tuesday, Thursday?
Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, we're open 12 to 4, I believe. Or okay.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, like you said, if you got something, especially if it's big, call. May need to make arrangements or something special or something like that. But call, and if you're calling because you want to give something, trust me, they will make arrangements to kind of work in your schedule to make that happen here. And of course, volunteer if you want to. If you can only, even if it's an hour, if it's a week, if it's every time that you're free, awesome. But please reach out and like the organization, Many Hands. That's the thing. That's the idea. All of us do a little bit to help out. This Herculean task gets a lot easier. So, this is an organization that's literally taking one bite of the apple at a time right here, and just trying to get address a need here. And what I love about it is, like you said, yes, you're partnering with the city and other corporate government entities to kind of help do this, but this is all grassroots. It's you. It's Enrique. It's yourself. It's literally just a couple people that cared, that said, I want to do something. What's my resources? And start turning over rocks and knocking on doors. And here we are. And that's how we make our community better. So I love that not only you guys are helping, but I think you guys are kind of a beacon to show how change for the positive should be done.
Yeah.
So
definitely grassroots.
Absolutely. Is there anything you guys wanted to share? Anything that we wanted to cover? We wanted to let people know that we just didn't talk about or skipped?
I think we covered quite a bit.
Okay.
Probably maybe come back and talk about the point in time.
Yeah, we'll get you on here like next week or somewhere. We'll look here.
Okay.
And then but folks, please help if you can. Volunteer, donate money. If you can't donate time, bucks is a big one right now. Mm-hmm. We don't want to have to go to status yellow for or below that for being able to open this facility when it's needed. So keep it in green or above green, and that way, when the biggest issue is, do we have a need? And if the answer is yes, they can turn the key, and that's all we got to worry about. So.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys, and appreciate everything y'all do, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Take care. It is 7:53. I'm going to shut up. And
now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Federal charges now filed against 2 men accused of delivering more than 66 pounds of methamphetamine through southeast New Mexico. The supply reportedly came from Durango, Mexico. In all, more than 30 kilos. Court documents show the delivery driver agreed to sell his shipment at a wholesale price of $75,000. Problem is, the man he made the deal with was an undercover federal agent. The two agreed to meet at the IHOP in Roswell. Both men were arrested there. The 2024 New Mexico legislative session officially kicked off on Tuesday. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham giving her 6th State of the State address. Lujan Grisham doubling down on the need for gun law reform while also calling for tapping into the state's permanent fund, this time for water and energy projects. I'm also proposing that we dedicate 2% of our severance tax permanent fund, $170 million, to catapult forward the advanced energy sources of the future: hydrogen, geothermal, next-generation battery storage, the governor said. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
It was kind of interesting to watch the mob, the media, do their thing, and as usual, they wanted to be against Donald Trump, and he may end up being below 50%. I'm like, he beat the numbers of both Governor Ron DeSantis, who came in second, and Nikki Haley around 19%, but he beat both of these candidates combined. But if you go back and look at history and the history of the Iowa caucuses, what you find is that this is the biggest margin by far ever of any Republican to win in Iowa. The biggest margin prior to this was Bob Dole with a little over 12%. I mean, that's how profound this was.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
You can give your home a new look this year with Blinds.com. Now, Blinds.com invented the better way to shop for custom shades and shutters and blinds and so much more. You even get free professional advice from their design professionals and experts. They also have free shipping. Anyway, start your year off the better way. Go to Blinds.com right now, 35% off site-wide. That's right, Blinds.com. Save 35% off site-wide for a limited time when you go to Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Does your current trophy wife want a life insurance policy 3 times the size of your previous mistakes? Relax and call Big Lou at Term Provider. Big Lou says if you're in your 50s, even a bit porky, a $1 million term life policy should only cost about $200 to $300 per month. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He likes trophies, too. For affordable life insurance, call 800-529-2856.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little cool today, but we'll be warming up as we get through the rest of the week. High pressure will stay parked over the Four Corners, so things look good today. Lots of sunshine, upper 50s to mid 60s. The wind will be a little bit gusty at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds, mid 30s to low 40s, and then tomorrow we're expecting highs to be back in the 70s, breezy and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker. Americans stepping up their spending in December more than expected, closing out the holiday season and the year on an upbeat note. Commerce Department says retail sales rose 0.6% in December. That compared with November's 0.3% increase. Amazon will partner with Diamond Sports, all part of a restructuring agreement. It'll be the largest owner of regional sports networks looking to emerge from bankruptcy. Diamond owns 18 networks under the Bally Sports banner. Those networks have rights to 37 teams, 11 in baseball, 15 in NBA, and 11 in the NHL. Rough weather continues to badger parts of the United States. Right now in the Pacific Northwest, Washington State and Oregon are waiting on a very fierce ice storm. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell. Bring in the new year at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires. Now through January 28th, instantly save $100 on our exclusive line of Big O brand tires. Plus, take advantage of our Winter Healthy Car Special for just $29.95. Hurry, these savings won't last long. Make an appointment online or visit your local Roswell Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. But everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday, to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden, or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 55 minutes after 9 o'clock. If you missed any part of the show today, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our interviews there. You can also find them on our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. I just scroll down, and after the show here, Jocelyn will separate those interviews and put them up on the Facebook and on the ksvptv.com website there for you to check out. In the 7 o'clock hour, we had John from Oasis Computers join us. He talked a little tech with us, talked a little bit about Microsoft and some of these updates and all the things going on. And, of course, if you got computer issues, he's got you covered. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, join us. He filled us in on what happened at the school board meeting that happened earlier this week. We also discussed just how the district's going with all the, changes and things, and just kind of keeping everybody up to date on that. So I had a great conversation with him. And, of course, this hour we replayed our interview with the folks from Many Hands organization. They are looking for support through volunteers and donations for the Gonzalez Warming Center and for the Many Hands organization to help homeless in our community. Great interview with them. So go back and check out if you missed it, ksvptv.com or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. Something that y'all may know, but I just learned. If you were tuning in at the beginning of the hour, I was talking, and then a text popped up on my phone. And I was like, oh, it's a spam text. And it was. It's a spam text. It's political spam. But I went back and looked at it before I was going to delete it. And it piqued my curiosity because it is someone that is announcing that they're running for U.S. Senator representing the state of New Mexico. They're running against Senator Martin Heinrich here in this next upcoming election. And the name is something that I think some people will recognize in the state of New Mexico. It was a text I got from Nella Domenici. She's a proud New Mexican, devoted mother, wife of Navy veteran, businesswoman, and she's excited. She's announced that she's running to be a Republican U.S. Senator from New Mexico. Domenici, if some of you younger folks may not know that name, but Senator Pete Domenici was a longtime, representative for New Mexico and is considered one of our best. He was highly regarded, highly respected, and he did a pretty good job too, as representing New Mexico. But he's a name in this state, and it's a name that is looked upon very favorably in the state of New Mexico, even by people that aren't Republicans. It is a name that's well respected on both sides of the aisle. I don't know anything about his daughter other than that's his daughter, and what I told you, I didn't know her. I don't know anything about her, but I find it very interesting that the daughter of Pete Domenici is now running for U.S. Senate. That is a story in the state of New Mexico. Now, I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, and so I've been a little out of touch. So maybe everyone else knows this, and I'm just learning about it. But no one in the room knew when I asked about it. So I'm going to assume it's kind of a surprise. So, but yeah, I got it via text from the campaign for her. So Nella Domenici, daughter of former Senator Pete Domenici, is now running as a Republican for the U.S. Senate against Senator Martin Heinrich. So it's official. I do your digging, do your research. I'm going to do the same. I mean, I liked her father. I know a lot about her dad. I don't know anything about her. And so now it's time to, but if she's anything like her father, she's going to make a name in this state. And it should be a very interesting race. And we got to go, but you all lived in New Mexico. Been a while, you know stuff. The Republican Party is as backwards as can be in this state. So this might do something to get them going. We'll see. But anyway, thought I'd spread that piece of information before we go. We got to go. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Breaking news this